Well, well, well. What in the world are the Dallas Cowboys doing? So on the draft eve, I guess, the day before the draft, the Dallas Cowboys decided they're going to have a press conference. And I don't know, maybe they did this last year. I'm thinking maybe they did do something similar to this. But nevertheless, the Dallas Cowboys decide that they're going to have a press conference. And in this press conference, just when we thought Brandon Aubrey was, hey, things were looking up, Brandon Aubrey got his deal done, everybody's thinking, well, next must be George Pickens. And then Stephen Jones decides to drop a bombshell about George Pickens. And that's all I've heard up until this point. So we're going to listen to this press conference today, and we are going to react. Because there may be something fishy going on with the Dallas Cowboys, and they may be preparing us for something that they're about to do tomorrow in the draft. Let's talk, Cowboys. Let's talk about it. We're going to talk facts. We're going to speculate. We are going to vent, overreact, underreact, anything you want to name it. But this is crazy news to me. Welcome, 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 Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And as you come into this live stream, please hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, what are you waiting on? Man, we have a lot of great things coming up for this season. Let's talk facts. Man, let me tell you something. Stephen Jones, for me, Stephen Jones, to me, it's like a love-hate relationship. I mean, it's like a love-hate relationship. I love some of the things Stephen Jones be saying, and then I start hating some of the stuff that Stephen Jones say. And I'm telling y'all might not remember, but I told y'all, when Brian Schottenheimer first said, we're not going to pigeonhole ourselves into just defense, I said the Cowboys may be preparing us for something. Now, I thought it might have been Jeremiah Love. We're going to talk about this thing with Jordan Tyson after we listen to this press conference. But this is what we're going to be talking about there. Man, we're about to react to this doggone press conference that the Dallas Cowboys had. The only part I heard was the George Pickens part, and boy, it made me mad. The Cowboys are making George Pickens play on the tag, or at least that's what they're saying. We're going to give a reaction on each piece of this thing. Then we're going to talk about Jordan Tyson, and then we're going to talk about this crazy stuff about the Cowboys even trading up. Man, Why? Why, Dallas? Man, I'm just thinking tomorrow we're going into this doggone draft, and we're going to be all good. Why? Man, let's get this roll call in so we get this show started today. But that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to listen to this doggone press conference, talk about this thing with Pickens, give our reaction overall, Jordan Tyson discussion, Cowboys trading up. Man, let's go. Let's get it. All right. Justin Durham, what's going on? Salute. The real Daryl. What up, real Daryl? Angie the Rebel Chicks, what's going on? My unofficial co-host, Jacob Jackson. What is up, Jacob Jackson? Inglewood Titans, what's going on? Derek Rose. He said, I believe Stephen Jones is trying to weigh your blood pressure. Boy, this is crazy, man. What up, Kevin Edwards? What up, Angie? Again, she said draft wide receiver. Brandy, she said they give away Pickens. I'm fighting the Joneses. Man. What up, Danny? Danny said thank you for the real commentary. Best sports analysis. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. What up, New Beginning? Dak Owens, Enoch Taylor. Dak Owens said, welcome to Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. Come in, hit the like button, and let your opinion be heard. And please keep the chat clean. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, Angie, you just said something. Steven is basic, allergic to greatness. Killing me. They're killing me. J. Lou from the 903, what up? He said Stephen Jones is a nut basket. The boys don't like paying people. Stop the madness, man. It's crazy. What's going on? Timothy Detweiler, what's going on? Nitro, what up, Nitro? Good to see you, Mose Logan. Tatiana, what's going on? Rico Jones, what's going on with you? Good to see you. Mikey Fresh. Frank Lawrence, what up? Pickens' silence was never a good sign for negotiating a long-term contract. I do not blame Jerry for being apprehensive about committing a lot of money to George Pickens long-term. Good move before the draft. Oh, we're going to talk about that, Frank Lawrence. Mose Logan, I agree. Dak needs to step up. Horace, what's going on? Randall the Truth, what is going on? He said, I feel you on Stephen Jones. Hope he doesn't become like his father in sound bites. Love your show. Appreciate it. All right, let's get this thing going, man. Mike said this. What up? What's going on, Azteca? Yes, the draft is finally here tomorrow. And the Joneses, boy, they are coming out with preemptive strikes. I'm telling you, I think they're preparing us for something. I don't know what it is, but I told y'all yesterday, I am not going to allow anything to surprise me as it pertains to the Cowboys in this draft. I'm telling y'all, and I told y'all just a few days ago, I was 95% that the Cowboys were going to extend George Pickens. But I said I was saving 5% because I'm not going to put it past, dare I say, I am not going to put it past the Dallas Cowboys to trade George Pickens. I'm not going to put it past the Cowboys. I'm not going to put it past them. I'm not predicting, I'm not telling you they're going to do it. But what I'm telling you is, I'm not putting it past the Cowboys because I told y'all a few weeks ago, I'll get more comfortable with the George Pickens situation once we make it past the draft. Well, what do the Cowboys do right the day before the draft? Understand the timing of this. Understand the timing of this. I want y'all to understand something before we listen to this press conference. There is no such thing as a coincidence. See, the Cowboys, I think, are looking at what other teams are doing, and they're getting a little bit smarter. So last year, everything with Micah Parsons went off the rails after the draft, which really stuck the Cowboys in a situation to where they had to start scrambling to find a partner to trade with. But watch this. Announce this thing with George Pickens the day before the draft. So what's going to be George Pickens' reaction? George has been pretty quiet up until this time. What is going to be George Pickens' reaction? What is it? What is it? What's his reaction? What's his reaction? Because is it no reaction? Would it be a reaction behind the scenes? Because I said this before. I mean, I'm telling you, it seemed like the Cowboys are almost daring George to do something that they don't like. It's like they're daring him. It's like they're daring him. Have a negative reaction if you want to, George. Have a negative reaction. Because we're going to slap you right in the face. We're going to slap you in the face by telling you, and you're going to hear Brian Schottenheimer do this over and over and over, because Brian even did this last year. He's going to slap you in the face. He's going to tell you how much he wants you to be a part of the team, while full well knowing that you being traded is on the table. We watched Brian Schottenheimer do this over and over and over last season with Michael Parsons. We watched Brian do this over and over and over. Oh, we like Michael. Oh, we like Michael. Blah, 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 blah. Only for Michael to finally be traded. It's like they're daring George Pickens to have a crash out. I'm praying, George, don't have no crash out. I had this same conversation with my son last night. Don't have no crash out. I told my son these exact words that I tell y'all all the time. Whoever builds you gets to kill you. Whoever builds you up gets to tear you down. See, you got to know, and this is why I always tell people, you got to know your talent level. You got to know how good you are. And you got to acknowledge to yourself how good you are. You know when you've been given a God-given talent. You know it. And I tell people all the time, stop being disingenuous. There's a difference in being humble and there's a difference in being disingenuous. Humility is not necessarily bragging on yourself. Don't walk around and be talking about, oh, I'm the greatest since sliced bread. But don't be disingenuous either. Hey, man, how good are you? Oh, I'm good. Are you top 5? You better believe I'm top 5. Can you be one of the best to ever do it? Yes, I can be one of the best to ever do it. I don't need nobody to tell me what I bring to the table because I'm the one bringing it to the table. I bring it to the table. So as long as I know I bring it to the table, I'm going to bring it to the table. And I'm not going to listen to people hype me up talking about how good I am. I already know I'm good. I know I'm good. So you're not going to hype me up. That way you don't get to surprise me by hyping me up and then at the last minute kick the chair up on me and say, hey, you're good, but we're not going to give you an extension. Nah. Not me. That's why I don't want George to crash out. George, don't crash out on him. Don't crash out on him, Jordan. George, don't crash out on him. Keep doing what you've been doing. Keep doing what you've been doing. Stay quiet. It's obvious. Now, we're going to have to go somewhere here as we get on this. And we'll talk about it more as we get in here. But we may have to start acknowledging something. Something that I don't want to acknowledge, but I think we're going to have to acknowledge it. And I don't think it's a race thing. So let me say that up front. I don't think this is a race thing. But I think we got to really consider, is this a David Mulugeta thing? Is this a David Mulugeta thing? That maybe they just don't want to deal with David Mulugeta on this level because they know that this is going to be a big contract. And I don't get it's just a lot of nonsense when you start saying stuff like, yeah, man, we can't afford these 2 receivers. Well, how are you going to afford them this year? How are you going to afford them? It don't make sense when you start saying you can't afford these 2 receivers because you're going to afford them if one of them plays on the franchise tag. I think the Cowboys are preparing everybody for something. And what they're doing is that they're doing this. They're doing this very subtly. Now, the Cowboys are not doing it messy this year. Follow what they're doing. They're not doing it messy. They're doing it in a manner that is, in a sense, they're doing it in a manner to where it's kind of like, again, the backhand slap. It's the backhand slap. So we're not going to be necessarily messy because we're going to keep talking good about George Pickens. We're not going to do it messy. But what we are going to do is we're going to start putting out there in the court of public opinion that George is playing on the tag before the draft to see what people's mindset are. How do people respond? How are people responding? I think I saw Angie say something earlier. And I really want Angie to elaborate as good as she can in the comments because Angie said something. And I want to see where she's going with this. She said, gee, the media is doing the heavy lifting for Jerry. Tell me what you mean by that, Angie, because to me, it seems like if we're in the same place, they're playing this out in the court of public opinion because they want the opinion of the public court. They want to see where the fans are, the media is, the content creators are. They want to see where everybody is on this because they care about the court of public opinion in a sense. So now we're going to see where this is going to go because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know where it's going. But I can tell you this. I told you this before. I'm not going to let the Cowboys surprise me on draft day. Trading up, trading down, trading sideways. I'm not going to be surprised staying at 12. I'm not going to be surprised if they were to trade not only George Pickens. I'm not going to be surprised if they were to trade anybody at this point. I am not going to be surprised. I believe the Cowboys are setting us up for all of the above because they want us to be on notice for any and everything they could do. Star Guardian next. Appreciate that super chat. He says, I feel Pickens is truly in the right spot here in Dallas. I agree with you. I do feel that Lamb and Dak are good for his mental. I don't see a crash out coming. Now, I agree with you. I fully agree with you. But you got to understand something, Star Guardian next. There's another part of this conversation, too. David Mulugeta. You hired him for a reason. David Mulugeta. What is David Mulugeta telling him? Now, if David Mulugeta is sitting there saying, George, this is to your advantage. Let's get this $27 million. And you go out there and you ball out even bigger and better than you did last year. Because next year come, they're not going to have a choice but to let you go. They're not going to have a choice but to trade you because they won't franchise tag you twice. Because that'll be dumb. I'm just telling you now. If George plays under the tag, I see no sense where it doesn't make dollars nor cents to let George play on a franchise tag this year and then come back and tag him again next year. No sense. It makes no sense. It don't make dollars. It don't make sense. Because you will have already committed to George $60 million, 60 plus million, while at the same time trying to sell us on, yeah, man, we can't afford 2 wide receivers of this price. Well, you just afforded them. Nah, it don't make sense. And if the Cowboys aren't in win now mode, it don't even make sense for George to even play this year. It don't even make sense. If the Cowboys are not going for it all this year, why let George play under a tag? This don't make dollars, nor does it make sense. Brandy says, my dad said, the only reason Stephen Jones will say that is because they are getting ready to trade Pickens. Brandy, your dad sounds pretty wise to me. I mean, it seems like they're preparing us for something. Star Guardian said, I do feel that that is Dallas. Wait, hold on. I do feel that if Dallas goes wide receiver in any of the first 3 picks, Pickens is gone. Hey, let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something right now. I will not be surprised if Jordan Tyson is there at 12. You will hear almost simultaneously that the Cowboys have traded George Pickens. Because as great as it sounds, everybody, oh, man, George Pickens, Jordan Tyson, and CeeDee Lamb. Okay. We're going to see. Don't make sense to me. Angie said, gee, I'm in the corner by myself. I won't be mad if Pickens is gone. I do like him. I'm just not sprung. Everybody's replaceable, but Jerry until God says so. Yeah. Now, Angie, it's not that George isn't replaceable for me, and I don't think you're in a corner per se. It's not that George isn't replaceable for me, because George is replaceable. But let's talk about let's dig into what we're talking about here. If you're telling me that you're not going all in this year and that you don't want to sign George Pickens to a long-term deal, then George Pickens is replaceable by Jordan Tyson. Then George Pickens is replaceable by Jordan Tyson. But where it doesn't make sense is that if you are going all in this year and next year, in particular this year, it don't make sense because, Angie, let's match these two things up because you've been talking about this. Everybody in the chat, let's really weigh this out. So you're keeping George Pickens, let's say that George is going to be here this year. This is an all-in move. We're going to see what George does this year. So if this is an all-in year, so we're telling me that we're doing an all-in year in Christian Parker's first season when everybody has already been saying we're not going to put this pressure on Christian Parker for this to be an all-in season in his first season. Now make that part make sense. I mean, make that part make sense. Now, I'm not saying they're not all in, but it seems like they've been saying, yeah, we're not going to put that kind of pressure on Christian Parker. But you are kind of putting that kind of pressure on Christian Parker. Because if you're going to let George play this year, but you don't let him play next year. So obviously you would be saying that somebody's going to be able to replace him next year that'll still be an all-in wide receiver. I just don't believe in the bird in the bushes stuff. I just don't believe in the bird in the bushes stuff. George Pickens is a all-in wide receiver. He's an all-in wide receiver, bottom line. You don't trade George Pickens if you're all in. You don't. You do not trade. You only trade George Pickens if you're saying, yeah, we got about a 3 to 4 year window. But if you're saying right now, no, you don't trade George Pickens. You don't trade George. Now, again, I noticed that Jerry is using some language that we're not going to extend him yet. We're not going to extend him yet. But I'm just not going to let them surprise me. I'm not. Cassie Roswell, what up, Cassie? Cassie said Pickens made a lot of good plays for us last season. Why is he being treated so badly? Cassie, some people won't understand what you're saying. But I know what you're saying. When somebody played the way George played last year, you just feel like they earned a contract. You feel like they earned a contract. But obviously it's saying that he didn't earn a contract yet. Mike said this. You know what? Mike said this. I think they've already been preparing us for this. There is no way, G, they're getting defense with both picks. I think that's what Brian Schottenheimer was telling us all along. I said it when he said it. I said they're preparing us for something. They're preparing us for something. I do. I think they're preparing us for something. See, Burleson said only way Pickens get paid is he ditches David. He's on Jerry's bad side. See, Burleson, I'm starting to think this is personal. I just think they don't want to deal. They'll deal with anybody at Athletes First except for David Mulugeta. I really think that may be a part of it. I really do. I just think that may be a part of it. But again, for me, George Pickens is an all-in right now move. And if I'm sorry, from the Cowboys, this wouldn't even be an issue for me. I mean, George would be, I would just wrap George up and just say, the heck with it. This is what Dak wants. This is what CD wants. This is how great the offense looked. I would just say, the heck with it. I'm going to stay with it. Fred G, he said, G, that press conference was not reassuring for George Pickens. Again, Fred, I'm sorry. Fred, I'm sorry. Let's play this thing, man. This is just so. It's just like we can't. It's just like we cannot go. We cannot go without any kind of drama. We just can't go without it. JCT, he said, yeah, I hate this. In all honesty, I didn't want Pickens to be on the tag. I wanted a long term with him. Me too. We still have 4, and we may need 4 more than ever if the typical Cowboys drama continues. And see, JCT, this is what bothers me. Because we continue to put it in this franchise, we continue to put everything on the shoulders of Dak Prescott. And that is so bothersome for me. How about give Dak Prescott a John Elway? I mean, give him a John Elway, man. Let him have a Jalen Hurts season. How about putting so much talent around him for 2 to 3 seasons that you know you're going to get you one? Dominique Pittman, the neighborhood skeptic, said, gee, you shouldn't have fell for the Jones BS. Dominique, I'm still holding out hope. Poobie D, you just said the statement of the day. Poobie D, you just made the statement of the day. Everyone is replaceable. But don't do it for Jordan Tyson. I love it. I love it. That is the statement of the day. Again, a bird in the hand beats a bird in the bush. Jordan Tyson has had injury issues. Why are we going to take that chance when you got a proven commodity? Why are we doing this? We have a proven commodity. Brandy said Dak and Pickens' chemistry was A1. Why mess that up? I don't know. But I can tell you this. This press conference, if you ask me, without hearing the rest of it, maybe I'll change my mind by the end of it. But let me tell you what I believe this thing is about. This press conference to me seemed like it was intentional about informing the fan base that we're not pursuing a long-term deal with George Pickens. That's what it seems like to me. All right, let's roll this. We're going to have minimum interruption if possible, depending upon if they tick me off or not. Let's roll it.
All righty, Calvin, start us out.
Tad, wait a minute. You're going to make
I just need to inform everybody that what you're about to hear over the next 30 minutes or so may be truthful and it may not be truthful. All right?
This is a draft meeting. We had to do that legally.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys.
Calvin.
Afternoon. Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. I have 2 questions.
Justin Durham, let me go ahead and answer this, bro. This ain't going to surprise me. I'm going to tell you what else isn't going to surprise me, what won't surprise me. Excuse me, Justin Durham. Let me tell you what else isn't going to surprise me. I told y'all before, there actually is a market for George Pickens if there were not 2 first-round picks attached. There is a market for George Pickens. Dominique, it would not surprise me. I'm sorry, Dominique. Justin Durham, it wouldn't surprise me if Max Crosby, because I think the Raiders wanted George Pickens all along, because I also think he fits that Raiders persona. But it also wouldn't surprise me, Justin. It wouldn't surprise me if the Cleveland Browns were to trade straight up. I'm talking straight up. No position flip or anything. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cleveland Browns would straight up trade the Cowboys a first-round pick for George Pickens. I wouldn't. They need a wide receiver bad. And I'll be honest with you, for as much as I like Jordan Thompson, I mean, the film looks great. I would pick George Pickens in a heartbeat over Jordan Tyson if I were the Cleveland Browns. If I were the Cleveland Browns and I could give the Cowboys a first, if the Cowboys, let's say the Cowboys would take a first and a second for George Pickens. What? If I were the Cleveland Browns, I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'd do it in a heartbeat to give the Cowboys that extra, because the Cowboys seem like they want that extra pick. I'd give it to them in a heartbeat. Heartbeat if I were the Cleveland Browns, but if I'm the Cowboys, I'm not giving up George Pickens because I'm going to keep George. For me, George Pickens is a two-year, hey man, all in. I don't care if you sign him to a 3-year deal with incentives and just give him the $60 million or the $65 million guaranteed, add another $5. I don't care if make it $70 million. I'm still wrapping George up for 2 years, bottom line. And this is the problem, ODB. If you're franchising for 2 years, you might as well should have signed him.
First one's for Will. A lot of draft experts say this is a strong defensive draft, but overall it might not be as strong as previous drafts. What are your thoughts on the strengths of this draft?
I mean, there's good football players all over the draft, and we won't know how good they are until they perform in the NFL. These guys deserve an opportunity, and we will evaluate all the qualities and see how they fit us.
Stop it, Calvin Watkins.
Jerry and Steven, you guys always say that on the night of a draft, that's when trade talks pick up. But because of what the Giants did over the weekend and what your needs are, have trade talks picked up in the last couple of days with you guys?
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they've necessarily heated up. I mean, there's always the occasional call that, hey, we'd have interest, or might, if our guy's not there, we'd have interest, but nothing.
I'm going to come to the Super Chats in just a moment.
What's your thoughts?
Yeah, we have trades. There is, you could imagine getting a call right now and making a trade. Picks are players. You could imagine that. That hasn't usually been our experience. It has to happen when a team gets the urgency of having a player within striking range with where their pick's going to be. We all understand that. But certainly the nature of having extra picks in that first round gives more credence to some options here, and one of them would be up or down.
Still DLLS Cowboys, you said you could imagine, has there been any calls made, or have you received any calls?
Yes.
You have received calls?
Yes.
Okay.
What did I tell y'all? What did I tell y'all before? The Dallas Cowboys have the most attractive trade package in the NFL. How many times have I said that, y'all? And contrary to what people are believing, it's not just a 12 or a 20. The most attractive trade package or player right now, it's actually George Pickens. If the Cowboys would come off those 2 first-round picks for George Pickens, if they would come off of that and say 1 first-rounder, George would be gone tomorrow. George is gone tomorrow. Stop playing. People got to stop playing with this man. Put some respect on this man's name. George would be gone tomorrow if the Cowboys put him out there for a first-round pick. Just one. Just 1 first-round pick. Because George Pickens is Cornell Tate, ain't close. Jordan Tyson, he got some flashes, but he is not George Pickens. We have seen George Pickens do it against double coverage, triple coverage, AFC, NFC, against some of the best coverage in the league. George has been dominant. He's been dominant. There is no way I would take any one of these college wide receivers, especially if I'm a team that wants to win now. Even if I was a team that wanted to win in the next 2 to 3 years, there is no way I would take a wide receiver in this draft over George Pickens. And if that phone has been ringing, if y'all think that phone is ringing for a funky number 12 pick, if y'all think that Jerry is telling y'all that the phone is ringing for a number 12, nah. That phone, I guarantee you, is ringing for none other than Jerry. George hasn't signed the franchise tag. Have you ever thought about rescinding it? Rescinding the tag that he hasn't signed? We'll give you a first for George. We'll give you a first for him. That phone, I'm telling y'all, it's either ringing to trade backwards or it's ringing because of George Pickens. There is no other player on the Dallas Cowboys team that is tradable or as tradable as George Pickens. The only one that could possibly be even remotely tradable would be Quinnen Williams, and they're not giving up Quinnen Williams. I'm telling you now, George Pickens, teams would love to have George Pickens. Not for 2 first-rounders. Let it be a first. Let it be a first. Start going next to I got it, G. The Cowboys felt like they weren't being talked about enough heading into the draft. They're going to pay GP beneath the headlines. Man, only if it was true. I think they may be preparing us for something. The wordologist said the moment they didn't restructure Dak, that let us know they were not all in. Hey, the wordologist, let me tell you something. I think they did do something. Well, Dak, it's already built in. I think they did push some of Dak's money to the void years. But I think the other issue, though, wordologist, I think there's another player that you might would have mentioned that is probably the one that would have really been the indicator. And everybody was waiting on them to redo Quinnen Williams' deal. That's what everybody was waiting on. Everybody thought they were going to redo Quinnen Williams, and they didn't. Angie the Rebel Chick, she said, Jerry allergic to the agent. I'm having to agree, Angie. Some of this may be Moolah Getter, or as Brandy call him, Moolah Getter, as in money getter. Frank Lawrence, he said, G, is there a better time to trade up to 6? Is there a better time to trade up 6 to Jeremiah Love? Let me tell you something, Frank. I don't think Jeremiah Love gonna be at 6. I'll be shocked. Frank Lawrence, Jeremiah Love is the best player in this draft. The issue is the Cowboys don't need a running back desperately like they did when they drafted Ezekiel Elliott. But Jeremiah Love's the best player in this draft. Tennessee, if Tennessee don't draft Jeremiah Love, Robert Saleh needs to be fired. Bottom line. Frank Lawrence said Pickens, Crosby, or Love at number 6 straight up. I'm all in. I'm going to tell you now. I told y'all this last week. There are 3 names I expect to hear on draft night. Garrett, Crosby, Pickens. I expect to hear all 3 of those names. Don't mean they're going to get traded, but I'm not going to be surprised to hear all 3 of those names. True Texan, appreciate that super chat. He said, I would make that trade to the Browns 1 and 2. True Texan, I'm telling us now. I don't think teams are just calling the Cowboys about trading up or trading back. The Cleveland Browns need a dynamic wide receiver. They need a dynamic, because I'm telling you now, I ain't putting nothing on Justin Judy, man. I'm sorry. Justin Judy couldn't even be on whatever his name is. Not Justin Judy, but his last name is Judy. Man, he couldn't even be on the team for me. Couldn't even be on the team. Frank Lawrence, he said, appreciate that super chat. He said, Mulligata has a long list of talent that got paid. Brinks money and immediate crash out for the new team. Oh, yeah. I've talked about it. Had the list on the show. Angie said, gee, you know Steven running things. Hey, we're going to change that to running things. He running things. Yeah, he running things. Paying the cheaper deal, Aubrey, before Pickens. Typical. Yep. It's a repeat of prior years. You're right. They did the same thing to Dak Prescott. It's a repeat of prior years unless it's team friendly. And look how that went for Osa. Man, let me tell you something. Angie, you just bars right there. Angie, if there is ever a cautionary tale about giving a team a discount, it could be Oso Digizua. And having loyalty to a team. Hey, Oso Digizua is a cautionary tale. You better be careful having allegiance to a team. A team that'll trade you. A team that can trade you the very, yeah, we want you. We love you, man. Thank you for taking that hometown discount. And they'll be telling everybody you want to be a Cowboy. Well, they don't want you to be a Cowboy too bad. Trade you right after that deal. Boy! Wait a minute, Angie. And not only did they trade Oso Digizua, they didn't trade him to the Houston Texans, to a team where he wouldn't have to face the millionaire tax and where he wouldn't have to face the tax of a place like California. They traded him to California. Cautionary tale. Cautionary tale. That's all I can tell you on that part. It's a cautionary tale. And this is why I always say, man, two things can be true. You can want to play for a team, but at the same time, you got to make your own mind up as far as what you want to get paid. You do. Edwin Minnick, he said, I guess y'all blind. Picks was a no-show. He was a no-show in that. And actually, Edwin, he wasn't a no-show in the Detroit game. That's the game where I know you're talking about the Detroit game and the Minnesota game, I think it was. No, Brian Schottenheimer's already taken ownership of that blunder. Relegating George Pickens to nothing but slants when you know they're playing him underneath and they're playing him over the top. That was Brian Schottenheimer's fault. Bottom line, he said it was. Rombowski, he said Pickens isn't sitting on his couch for 26 making zero when he gets guaranteed 27, but he for sure isn't showing up to Oxnard on time, and how ready will he be at the start of the season is the question. Hey, Rombowski, this is a tough one, man. This is a tough one. I'm just telling us all. It's a tough one. And I'm not going to be mad at George whichever route he goes. I'm just not going to be mad at George no matter whatever route he goes. Just like we can't be, just like at the same time, we can't be mad at the Cowboys for the leverage they have on George Pickens. As you said, Rombowski, this is what the Player Association negotiated. So it is what it is. You can't be furious at the Cowboys, maybe a little bit perturbed, disappointed, but it's the business. As someone posted earlier, it's the business. It's the business. And that's one of the reasons why, as a player, man, you got to get, you better, whatever you do, you better make sure that whatever you're doing is also good for you. Don't do just what's good for the team. You do what's good for you too. Larry Golden says, sorry, judges got here. What's going on, Larry Golden? He said, what am I missing? Am I hearing what I think I'm hearing, or the Jones is going to screw it up again? We're going to see. We're going to see. Yeah, Pickens was not on the market as an unrestricted. He was on non-exclusive. Sorry, yeah, non-exclusive. I don't know if I said unrestricted, but yeah, that non-exclusive tag. I mean, it is what it is. There was no market for him on a non-exclusive tag. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant to scare away. It's meant to scare away the market. It's meant to scare away the market. But again, some of this may have something to do with David Mulugeta too. Tristan York said, what's good? Cowboys Nation David Smith said Pickens should play under the tag almost like Dak, and it would play out. I think Pickens stays in Dallas. Well, Tristan, you know what, though? This is the business. They got him. They got him. I don't think he can do anything else. They got him. They got him. So they're going to just have to, he's just going to have to weather the storm. And if I'm George, go out there and ball out. That's the only thing you can do at this point. And if I'm George Pickens, I'll be honest with you. If I'm George Pickens, I would probably go ahead unless David Mulugeta and myself had something different planned. If I'm George and I'm going to sign the tag anyway, I'm going to go ahead and sign the tag now. I'm actually not going to wait. Y'all tell me what you think. I'm not waiting on the tag. If I'm going to sign it, I'm going to sign it. It does no good to wait. It does no good to wait because it only hurts you because you don't perform as well when you sit out all that time. I mean, we saw what happened with CD when CD sat out that whole time. Man, it took CD some time to get his wheels back under him. George can't afford that. George got to hit the ground running. So George has got to decide right now what he's going to do. Is he holding out? Holding out for what? I don't know, because there's nothing you can really hold out for. Are you holding out or are you signing? And if you know you're going to sign anyway, go ahead and sign anyway. Go ahead and sign now.
You told us at the Combine that you wanted to be more aggressive in Raiders. You plan to be more aggressive in improving this team. Have you done that? And will you take that same aggression into the draft as far as trying to move up to get a difference-making player?
Done that, yes. We've signed that kicker for the highest price kicker in the history.
Did I not tell y'all? Now, the only place where I'm wrong up until this point is George Pickens. Did not tell y'all what Jerry was going to say. After the draft, after the Brandon Aubrey extension, after the George Pickens extension, Jerry was going to say, we busted the budget, we were aggressive. But George hasn't been signed, and they're just stopping. They're just already before the draft even hits. He's talking about Brandon Aubrey. Come on, man.
Kicking as an example.
Stop it, Jerry.
That's an example. Stop
it.
We really, I give Steven so much credit here and his staff, but we're in a position that we can do some things, flexibility that allow us, if that opportunity were there and we could do a now thing regarding the financial of it, we probably have more flexibility than we've had in years past.
Will you, I know you're receiving calls, but will you make calls to move up? Is that part of what you're talking about?
I don't know that. I don't know that. They're usually candidly better coming in than going out. The results are better for us.
Yeah, I mean, it can work both ways. You can improve your team moving back if you make the right selections because you get more players. And sometimes more is better than one. And so obviously we look at both and the value it takes to either move up or what value we get for moving back. And, that's true every year.
We're real prepared because we did have the extra pick. We're really prepared for our options here, and probably more so than if we just had one pick.
Jerry Todorch with ESPN. With the defensive needs you have and the players that could be available, do you anticipate having to be more nimble with what you may do before the clock, depending on if there's a run on guys that you like, that you may have to make a small move up? Do you have to be more nimble than you maybe would want to have been in the past?
Yeah, well, you would expect us, and our fans expect us to be ready. The nature of the way things are today, and candidly, Will's preparation, the staff's, coaching staff's input, scouts, Stevens, we're as ready as I can ever remember. And
hold on, let me read a couple things here. Angie, appreciate that super chat. Angie said bust the budget really meant getting free agent guys earlier than prior. I guess so. I guess so, Angie. I guess that was bust the budget. And again, I told you, he done already threw Brandon Aubrey in there, man. Hey, and I'm going to tell you this part. Even if they don't extend George, you know what they're going to say? And we're paying George under the franchise tag. Because that money is coming straight off the bottom line. That money for George is coming straight off the bottom line this year. Cedric Hamilton says an interesting comment. He has an interesting comment. He said, Cleveland and Dallas are discussing trading Garrett for Pickens along with that 12th pick. It wouldn't surprise me. I've already said I expect to hear Garrett, Crosby, and Pickens on draft night. I really do. Rombowski said more is better than one, Steven, when you actually know how to draft well. Hey, did you hear what Jerry said? He said you got to give Steven and his staff a bunch of credit. Really? Steven and his staff. Okay. Let's see.
We have all anticipated getting to be in this draft, and if we can get more value out of the draft than just where the picks line you right now, and that'll be where you go from. But we're obviously, if we.
I'm sorry, Jerry's doing all his bumbling right now. Proud Coast, he said they finally making solid moves. The tag is the right move. Got to look at the picture. Well, as I said earlier, Proud Coast. The Cowboys have done what's best for the Cowboys. This is what they feel is best for the Cowboys. But Georgia's got to do what's best for him too. So we're going to see. The next move is Georgia's. What is he going to do? But I'll tell you this. If he's going to sign the tag, then go ahead and sign it now so you don't miss any training camp. Bass said, I need to laugh, guys. I'm ticked. We're trading Pickens or letting him go or tagging him. Yeah, he's already tagged. The issue is he hasn't signed it. But I would dare say, go ahead and sign it. If you're going to sign it, sign it. Don't wait until all the drills. No, go ahead and sign it. Go ahead and sign it now. Because you need to be there for every single thing. Because every little thing George misses, it hurts George Pickens. And so what George has got to make sure that he does in all of this, don't hurt himself. Don't hurt himself. And don't give people ammunition to say, oh, this is exactly what we knew George was and this and that. No. If you changed. Don't crash out. Crash out behind closed doors, but don't crash out in public. Don't crash out in public. Okay, this is what we're doing. Just understand what it is. This is what we're doing. I'm getting paid $27 million this year. Okay, this is what we're doing. Well, I'm about to run it up. Run it up then. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Dak Prescott is not going to shy away from George on a franchise tag. You watch what I tell you. Dak is going to feed George Pickens on a franchise tag. What better way to prove to the Joneses they're wrong about George Pickens playing on the tag than if George plays on the tag? Dak says, hey, don't you worry, bro. Don't you worry. You will be the number one receiver this year if you play on the tag. Dak ain't gonna shy away from it. Dak ain't gonna shy away from it. So for me, if I'm George, if I'm signing, I'm gonna go ahead and sign now. I'm gonna sign now. I'm not sweating.
Really excited you going down. There's got to be, logic tells you there's something sitting there that you might ought to look at too. And I go back to, we were just talking about it this morning. We were strong oriented toward defense in the Lamb draft, and we didn't go that way. We went with Lamb.
Now here he is. He's foreshadowing again. See, the Cowboys were supposed to be going defense when they drafted CeeDee Lamb, but CeeDee Lamb failed there. The Cowboys have already been setting up this chess move. They've already been setting up this chess move. If all of the defensive players the Cowboys want are off the board, and they're probably going to be off the board, and if Jordan Tyson is there, the Cowboys are going to take Jordan Tyson, I believe. I believe they're telling us they're going to take Jordan Tyson. If he's there, they're taking him.
Pick. So, and that's alive and well. We would, given the right circumstances, we'll go offense.
Yeah, Tyson or Jeremiah Love.
Saying add up or look at your holes, it's probably more on the defensive side of the ball right now. More questions on the defensive side of the ball, and that's trite almost to say it with our results last year. But we've taken all of that in consideration, been taking it in the off season. There's every kind of trade possible over these next few days. Player on other rosters, draft picks, all that's very much in play.
For Stephen and Will.
I'm telling y'all now, get it all out today. Whatever your frustrations are, get them all out today. They're setting something up in the court of public opinion. This is a very strategic press conference by the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboy fans, hey man, get your woosahs out now. Get it out now, Cowboy fans. I'm telling this now. Get it all out now. Whatever your frustrations are, whatever scenario you don't like could happen tomorrow, over the next 3 days, get that frustration out of your mind right now. Right now. Because they are setting up something. I'm telling you, they're setting up something. Jerry just mentioned in one mumbling swoop, he mentioned trading back. He's mentioned trading players on the team, trading for players on other teams, getting more draft picks. I mean, Jerry is, drafting an offensive player. They are putting it all out here in this press conference. Everything that any scenario you could imagine, good, bad, or indifferent, they're telling you now. You better get ready.
Well, how much do you guys?
You better get ready. You better get ready, Cowboys fans. That's all I'm telling you. Get ready. The boys can do anything right now. Mike McCain said T. Higgins equals fire David Mulugeta. Yes, sir. Maybe we'll see George follow suit. Maybe we'll see George follow suit. True Texan said Dallas is paving the road of misdirection and good. True Texan. I agree with you. I think they're basically setting this up for any and everything. Any and everything. Be ready. Don't be surprised. And I'm telling you, there are going to be teams. I'll be shocked if they don't. There will be teams tomorrow. Oh, there's no market for George. Wait until tomorrow. Wait until tomorrow. There will be teams calling about George. Steven said GP plays on the tag and Dallas sends 12 and 20 to the Raiders for max and pick 36. I'm telling you, somebody's going to try to make a trade for him. Dominique, the neighborhood skeptic, he said, I've been called out. He said, I've been called out this foolishness. Hey, G. I mean, hey, Dominique, we ain't all the way there yet. Let's wait till tomorrow. We ain't all the way there yet. Madman said you don't hold out on the tag. You hold out with 1 year left on the contract. Now, again, Madman, we say you don't hold out on the tag. But there are ways you can hold out on the tag. Micah Parsons tried to do it. And I believe that Micah Parsons was about to be successful at doing it. And Jerry said, excuse my French, Jerry said, hell no. Man, Jerry said, oh no. You not finna fake a back injury here for the whole season. Jerry said, nah, bro, we got to do something different. No, there are ways to hold out on the franchise tag. I just don't think you want to do it. Angie. Angie, now I done told you about this before. You better stop playing, speaking this stuff into existence. You better stop playing. Angie, you better stop playing. Maui go or mess around and be there at 12 for the Cowboys. It'll be an offensive tackle. Keep playing. Keep playing. Is that his name? I know his last name is Maui Goa. Let him be there. Let Maui Goa be there, Angie. You keep on playing. It will be booking. Cowboys gonna get that offensive tackle. They'll get that offensive tackle in a heartbeat. Shoot. I'm not gonna let nothing surprise me in this draft. Ain't nothing gonna surprise me. Mo 3, appreciate you becoming a member. Don't you let nothing surprise y'all in this thing, man. Don't you let nothing surprise you. Proud Coast, we getting all of our frustrations out. I agree with you. We getting all of our frustrations out. We getting our frustrations out. I told you at the beginning, you might not have been at the beginning. I said we gonna speculate and everything in between. But again, I want George to continue doing what he's doing. Don't say a word. I don't want George to say a cotton-picking word. George, don't say a word. Whatever crash out you do, do it behind closed doors. Don't say a word. And again, if I'm George, don't wait to sign the franchise tag. If you're going to sign it, go ahead and sign it now. Go ahead and sign it now. You need that time in camp. And you also need to, don't try to change people's minds about you. But prove that, man, let me tell you something. Brandon Aubrey said something the other day. Oh, it is so powerful. So powerful what Brandon Aubrey said. Brandon Aubrey said he wanted to prove the people right who said he could do it. George, don't focus on proving anybody wrong. Prove those of us who believe that you've changed. Now go out there and prove us right. Go out there and prove us right. Don't crash out, because this is going to be frustrating to play on the franchise tag. But probably once you get to about that third check, it's probably going to be less frustrating. The more games you play, the less frustrating it's going to be. The more games you play, the less frustrating it's going to be, my brother. Because, boy, man, when you see them commas in the bank, Man, by the time you get to what, your third check, that's going to be pretty much more than you made your whole career. Bro, balled out, because I'm telling you, Dak is going to get this man the ball, because Dak is going to prove to Jerry. Now, Jerry, extend this man. Extend him. Dak got him. And I guarantee you, Dak is telling him now, I got you, bro. If you play, I'll get you the ball. I got you.
Guys play through the contingencies coming into this thing. Like, how many mock drafts do you guys go through yourself just to be prepared for anything that may happen at 12-1?
Go ahead, Will.
I think that's the beauty of what we do is we go through the process of evaluating them all, and then we go through the mock drafts and all those things and all of the predictive stuff where guys are going to be and kind of formulate strategies from there. But we look at all of that and go through the full process.
And, you know, it's not just the number of mock drafts you run. I mean, just the verbal back and forth, the scenarios that might come up that just go on. Sometimes it's just between Coach, Jerry, myself, and Will just talking about it. Sometimes it's just sitting in the room with the scouts talking about it, not necessarily running a mock draft of all the scenarios that, could help our football team. And you just slowly but surely get your hands around what you think is going to be in the best interest of our football team, and then try to orchestrate on draft day, especially with these 2-1s. I mean, once you get much past the first round, it really is an exercise in futility, guessing what might be there, what might not be there. That's why you have your board up, and you count on your board as it gets closer to your pick to then start to manipulate what your next move might be.
I was visiting with Shotty a couple of days ago, and and y'all knew you were going to get one of these old stories when you came in here, so hopefully this is it for you. But I said to Shotty, I have a practice of decision making, and I like to make it days or weeks, and then I like to just live with it and see how it feels. We are in a process where we've been looking at all kinds of players, a lot of good players, lots of them. Trends, or this year it's this or that or what have you. But when you roll the clock forward to Sunday night or Saturday night, there won't be but just 6 or 7 or 8 of these draft picks, and then there'll be those free agents up there. We've looked at hundreds of players, but that's all that we'll have. And from that point forward, thinking about those other guys don't count until years later you may be trading for one of them and can use all this work to help you make that trade. But the point is, all you're going to really end up with is a certain number of players. Now, wear that for a few days and write down the players of these top 3, 4, 5 rounds that you'd like to have there when Saturday comes, whatever it's going to look at, because that's all you're going to live with. That's all you're going to go forward with on building the team is that right there. I came down to watch the Cowboys with Charlotte, and the owner of the team, Bum Bright, had Roger Staubach sit with me, and we watched Bill Parcells and the Giants play Tom Landry and the Cowboys, and it was rainy old day. And there weren't really but about a third of the stadium there from almost the time I looked at it. But down near the end, it got down to where there might not be but 5,000 or 6,000. Well, then you couldn't buy a beer or have a drink, and so you brought it in coolers. And so there were hundreds and thousands of beer cans and thousands of liquor bottles all in the stands and the seats down there. Well, about the beginning of the fourth quarter, I said, I'm gonna see what it would be like to be sitting out in the middle of that grizzly rain. Giants just tore the Cowboys up. There couldn't have been over 5,000 or 6,000 people left out there. And I'm gonna go out there and sit in that rain and kick those cans and stuff out of the way and just feel like what it's gonna feel sitting here after I'd spent every dime that I had or gonna have. And yet I'm sitting out in this rain getting beat like this. Can I live with it? How bad do I want to be here? And I went down there and sat, Left old Staubach. Staubach was up there sitting with it. Left them. Went there, kicked those cans out of the way, and walked back up that aisle and said, hell, I can live with this. This is where I want to be. And if I hadn't given up all my money, this is where I want to be. That exercise is good to do in times like this. It diminishes maybe some enthusiasm, or it enhances enthusiasm for a time. But that's called living with the decision a few days before you do it.
Yeah.
John Machota with The Athletic.
I'm not sure, based on what Jerry just said, I'm not sure you can actually replicate. Now, maybe in the illustration that he gave, he was able to replicate, but I'm not sure that you can replicate making a decision about something before you make the decision. I'm not sure you can replicate what that feels like, because the reality is you don't really know what that feels like. Hindsight is 20/20, but you don't really know what it feels like to make a bad decision until you've made the bad decision and see the ramifications. You don't even know what it feels like to make a good decision. And I'm talking about specific things. You don't know what it feels like to make a good decision until you've made a good decision and see the ramifications. Because every decision, while we can generalize them to either the right or the wrong decision, the reality is every decision that you make is different. Going to the car lot and deciding if you're going to buy a certain type of car is different than the person who you're with, right? Let's say you're dating a person, you're deciding on whether or not you're going to marry them. You can't replicate marrying somebody and it turns out bad and marrying somebody and it turns out good to buying a new car. I mean, you can. I mean, someone says, well, you can. If it's a bad car, it's a bad car. You can get rid of it. No, that's not the same. There are so many different so everything is different. Everything is not relative as we may think at the end of the day, because let's think about it. Well, Jerry has made a lot of decisions over the last 31 years. I mean, how many of those have actually been good enough to get us to a Super Bowl? So at the end of the day, it's kind of hard to replicate making a good and a bad decision, because where you felt good on one thing, you did that right, you take that same feeling to the next thing, and it's not right. So everything you got to take it as it comes. Mo3 said trade up to 3, take Styles. I'm a bet you now, G. A lot of I heard today the Cowboys may be trying to trade up to 3 with the Cardinals. But again, I agree with you here. GP knows Dak can make him famous, and I think Dak will make him famous. He already has helped he's already kind of helped him revitalize his career, but we got to keep going. Angie said, with Pickens gone, watch me go send to the wide receiver 1B, easily getting 1,000 yards booking. Edge, I don't think so. Mingo, I think Mingo is one training camp away. They went and took away that roster bonus, Angie. I'm telling you right now. I think Mingo is one training camp away. And I think he about to be toast up in this joint. Shoot, boy, he better be catching some passes out of this world this year in training camp. Wink from the wood, he said, I don't think our defensive personnel was as bad as people think. Matt could not dial up defensive schemes that were tailored to our strengths and camouflage our weaknesses. Hey, Wink from the hood. Let's go a little bit further. I don't even think it was the fact that he couldn't dial up anything. I don't think anybody believed in him. There was no connection. I think that was one of the biggest issues. There was no connection between him and the players. None. I don't even think they liked him. I'm not even sure Shotty liked him. I mean, I think Shotty respected him. I think Shotty liked him. I think Shotty loved him. I don't think Shotty loved him as a coach once he started figuring out what he had. I don't think he loved him as a coach.
Will, I think Christian Parker is your 6th defensive coordinator you're going to work with in a draft from the last 8 years. What's the biggest difference, I would guess, working with Christian compared to maybe some of the other defensive coordinators you worked with going into a draft?
I think every coach that you bring in, they have a philosophy. They have players that they look for. They're looking for good football players. He's done a great job of telling us what he's looking for and how he's going to use it, and increases the vision of how we see players. As scouts, we go out and we look for traits, and then you got to figure out how those traits fit. So it's the communication, it's the way we do things that give us an opportunity to figure out the right value and the right players that fit us from the way.
Wait a minute, hold on. Breaking news. Breaking news. Big Rombowski said Pickens has hurt his back while vacationing in Cabo. Stop it. Stop it. He said Mulugeta says he's doing fine, but their doc said, hold on, he said the doc says it's looking like he won't be ready till the start of training camp. Stop it. Stop it. Or stop it.
That he's described it and what we're looking for.
And then for Brian, obviously you're the head coach, but also your offensive play caller. How tough do you think it'll be to sit through a draft where maybe you guys take a lot of defensive players?
Not hard at all. You know, we want to win. We have high standards here. We want to find the best players that fit the Dallas Cowboys, and if they're defensive players, great. You know, we know there's areas that we need to address on that side of the ball. If they're offensive players, great. We just want to make sure we're getting the right person, the right type of player that plays to our scheme. I think, adding to your question about Christian, he's very clear about how he wants to play, and I'm looking forward to it.
Nick Harris, Forward Star Telegram for anybody, really. Having these 2 first-rounders is obviously a luxury. If you guys were to move around in the first round, how important it is to you guys to make sure that you're still picking twice in those top 32 picks?
I don't think there's a set thing that, hey, we got to.
Boy, hey, man, let me tell you, I'm gonna get these interviewers, I'm gonna get these dudes a hand, man. Boy, they be figuring out all kinds of ways to try to make the Cowboys confess what they gonna do in the draft. He said, how important is it to keep those, to draft twice in that first round, boy? He tried to see, boy, you gonna trade up, you gonna trade back. He tried to see if you're willing to give up. They ain't budging, though. Cowboys ain't budging, boy. I mean, they throwing out hints we can do anything, but they are not budging, man.
Have those picks in the top 32. There's scenarios where you could end up with additional picks and still have 2 picks in the top 32, which could be a huge plus, or there could be a situation where we want to go get a player and we think it's worth it, and it may push that second pick down a little further than top 32, but at the end of the day, we'll measure all that and see what players are going to be available and what we think the chances are that we come out of it with the type of players that we're looking for to make this team better this year.
And obviously this is a lot of influence that Christian Parker is going to have here throughout the whole entire process, but specifically tomorrow night. You guys have kind of been asked this before, but this is his first time really going through this process. Where does the trust come from to be able to understand that his evaluations could be correct tomorrow night?
Well, I'll start that. It's been very beneficial. We've spent extra time going through the philosophical approach.
Now, this is a very good question that was asked here. I think he's, in a nutshell, he's asking, what makes you trust Christian Parker is going to help you make the right decisions picking defensively? What makes you think he's going to, how do you trust he's helping you make the right decisions? I think it's a great point. Angie, you just said a mouthful. Shotty always trying to go in and clean up after Jerry and Steven talk. Yep. I agree with you. Madman said the linebackers on this roster is trash. I wouldn't say as much as trash, but we definitely need to check the freshness on them. Yeah, we got to make sure that our man Overshawn gonna be good to go. Chanel, Chanel, what's going on, my man? He said, G, they still after GP, have a good year, still hit GP with second tag, valued at 32.7, which could be 120% of his 2026 salary. Oh, yeah. That's why I say it doesn't make sense to franchise tag him twice. I'd just go ahead and sign him to a 3 or 4 year deal. Make it $70 million guaranteed, and I'm done with the rest. I'd be done with the rest. Push that much, put about 6 board years on that joint. I'm good to go, man. I'm good to go.
He's trying to get done on defense. Shotty's been outstanding pulling that out of these defensive coaches so that the scouts and everyone get a very clear, and couldn't do this truly, of what you're trying to accomplish. Where can we not have all pro players but get by with lesser players in the philosophy of the defense? And so it was very educational about at least the promise or the perspectiveness of what we're trying to get to on defense. Obviously, when you draft a player, you'd like for him to be able to play in any defense, on any system. And ideally, that's what you want, because it can change. It can change.
That's Christian Parker's language
during
right
the season sometimes. So the bottom line is that it does let you get a good idea of where you're trying to go with the perfect set of circumstances, the best players for it. But you got to realize you can draft them, and they get hurt the first day, and you not have them all year. That's football. And so my point is,
boy, Jerry always be talking about them injuries, don't he? Well, Jerry, no, he been burned by these injuries.
Is you weigh all of that, because you can't make.
Hey, that's in my past right there. A long time ago, Dak owns. That's that. Have you ever heard of that crazy water? They didn't have the ice. I think that's the water I've been drinking this new water. They say is like the best on the market as far as cleanliness. That's that Iceland water. Yeah, I was drinking this Icelandic water right here. I was drinking this, but when I went to the store, it is so popular now. This is like the best. They say it's one of the best waters you can get. It's called Icelandic. And you want to get it in the glass bottle. Don't get it in the plastic. My wife got these. I had to tell her don't get these no more. They didn't have that, Dak owns. You ever heard of crazy water? Yeah, this is crazy water. Yeah, it ain't no beer or nothing like. It ain't no beer, but it's also supposed to be one of the best waters you can get. But it's not as good as Icelandic. But I had to settle for this because they didn't have that Icelandic. Hey, Dak owns. That Icelandic, man, that's the water, man. And everybody's starting to catch on. It's better than Spring Valley. Problem is not everybody catching on. Everybody buying it. Yeah, that Icelandic water. And again, this is I just got this as an alternative. Hey, they need to sponsor me for this. But this is that crazy water. But I've been trying to eat right and drink right, man. I gained a lot of weight over the last couple of years since I moved over here. So trying to get back in shape.
That the beginning all end all, or if you do, you at least need to be aware of it. So, yeah, it's been very, very good, and we've had our offensive coordinator in there that with the defense leading the way, but the offensive coordinator, and I more often than not will reach over and say, "Now, Shotty, you hear what he wants to do. How would you line up and beat that when if you were playing him and he was your defensive coordinator? How do you beat that with what we've got?" And Shotty said, real simple, I'd run right at his, you know what, I'd go right at him hard, and whatever that question was. But it's a process, it's really a process of trying to see how adjustments are made when you don't have it set up perfect out there personnel-wise. And then that helps you understand the importance of a player.
No doubt about it, man.
As opposed to getting 2 players rather than 1 player. That'll help you trade down.
And, Nick, if I could add one thing to that, the other thing that helps is having expert personnel guys that Will's put together on his staff.
Angie, here come Brian with the cleanup.
Mitch LaPointe, Chris Vaughn, Ross, Clint. I mean, the group that he has assembled, they understand. So when we
now, for what my understanding is, Freddie, I've seen quite a few reviews on this. Now, they say that this Icelandic water is not tap water. I've seen the guys with the testers and everything testing it, so it ain't no tap water.
Teach and we educate and we try to tell them what we're looking for, we're not far off. It's just kind of filling in the blanks in some areas. But kudos to Will, these guys, for the staff that they've put together on the personnel side.
Tommy Arsh, DallasCowboys.com. For anybody, does this specific draft class feel like one where maybe positional value of years past is not as imminent as it has been before? And if so, how does that affect your thinking of what happens in front of you and your own pick at 12?
I think your positional value and what your standards are your standards, and you keep those standards.
Hey, Demetrius Noel. Hey, what's going on, Demetrius? He said, gee, no offense, but this press conference is depressing. He said because it's all the shenanigans just like last year's before the front does something that will keep them in the media. Hey, I'm just blown away they did it the day before. I'm just blown away they did it the day before. And maybe they did that last year. I got to check, but I'm just blown away. Yeah, Big Boss Dog, I drink that Icelandic. And again, they say that Icelandic is the best you can drink right now. And I think there's another one that is creeping up there that a lot of people are talking about.
Is the same. So by saying that, it's like a first-round player is a first-round player, and that's why we feel like if we have that standard and we do it every year, then we have apples-to-apples comparisons of players. So we're not moving X amount up for this position or that position. If you do it standard and consistent, now you have a consistent process that gives you the ability to evaluate the players on the same level every year. So you're not
I seen it, Ryan Doyle,
jumping around.
And then again, for anybody, with more of the top college offenses moving to quicker, fast-paced RPO styles, does that change any way that you evaluate defensive players maybe in the secondary who have maybe less time to react to routes or things like that?
Yeah, it's all a part of understanding. You got to understand what you're looking at, and then you got to understand what you're putting it into. And so that's the process of being with the coaches, understanding what they're doing, then understanding the schemes and marrying that together, and then seeing how the abilities that the player has matches with what you do.
I will say this, the guys get into it all the time. Sometimes you do have to project. I mean, these offensive linemen, you'll see some never get in a three-point stance. I mean, they're on two the whole time. And I think Steele was that way at Tech. So you got to project, what that's going to be like. And if you're projecting, then you take a little air out of that player because you are projecting, and there is risk that he will be able to ultimately project into what you need him to be. But he may have all the traits and the skill sets to do it. You just hadn't seen it done on tape in college.
And an interesting one, just another example, is to your point about college football. They run 78. I watched a game during the process where they ran 99 plays. The defensive guy was in for 85 of those plays. Well, if you don't do your work, that you watch the end of it and you say he's lazy, but if you go through the context and understand what and the why, then you get a fuller perspective on the player.
Which player was that?
Todd Archer.
Not a good player.
No,
not a good player.
Yeah, he's not.
Reject.
It's
man, I think you make a very good statement right here. Yeah, this is really the big problem, man. This draft is not really good after the top 8 guys, or at least that's what that's kind of what we're being told, man, is that there are not good players after the top 8. But I do believe that there are some good players in this draft that are going to. I think there are some very good players in this draft that are going to be good players that people don't realize are good players. So this is a draft for me in the grand scheme of things because it doesn't seem like. So let's think about what I would call the sure hit players. Offensively in this draft, I think there's only one. If I just had to say there's one sure hit player, it's Jeremiah Love. Every player after that, I'm kind of like, I don't know. I mean, the best wide receiver in this thing is Jordan Tyson if he didn't have the injury history. But other than that, I mean, it's not one of those types of drafts. And then when you think about defense, I mean, to be honest, I mean, we don't really have those surefire defensive players in this thing that everybody just like. We're talking about the best players in this draft, but the best players in this draft probably wouldn't be the best players in next year's draft. A lot of them wouldn't be the best players in next year's draft. They're saying next year's draft is going to be loaded. But a lot of this draft, I think there's some good players in here. good players, and I'm not even going to go 8. I think there may be actually about 4 to 5 players in here that you may say that could be surefire players. But one of them is Jeremiah Love. I got kind of Jordan Tyson kind of on the cusp. But other than that, this is one of those drafts where you are really going to have to put in the work as far as scouting goes. I agree with you. Mansour Delane. I like Mansour Delane. I absolutely like Mansour Delane. For sure. I like Mansour Delane. But, man, it's just not a lot of surefire players in here. I mean, you really going to have to do some scouting in this thing, man. You got to really find some players that fit what you do. That you're looking at and saying, okay, we can work with their skill set. They'll maybe work out in this system. We can kind of do this. But I'm just telling us, man, there's just not a lot of just crazy talent in this thing. Nah, man. Nah, you're going to have to do some scouting in this dang gone draft. Eddie said, thanks for keeping it real, G. Simply saying you don't know because some folks act like they do. Shoot. Angie, I'm just telling you. I just don't think there's a lot of, like, in the past, we've seen some surefire talent. And we look in this draft, we're kind of like, I mean, we're really keeping it real. You know, we're like, okay, we see about maybe 3 or 4. Maybe. But the rest, oof. Man, you better get your scouting on. Because you might very well pick players that don't work for you. But this is why coaching matters. And this is why I say the best thing the Cowboys did this year, and we're going to see with Christian Parker if it's proven. But Brandon Jordan is proven. Brandon Jordan is proven. And so Christian Parker and Brandon Jordan and that coaching staff, we're going to see how it turns out. But coaching may be the best thing the Cowboys did. The coaching staff may absolutely be the best thing the Cowboys did for defense this year.
It's not that he doesn't want it. He just measures himself when he's out there.
It's managing.
James.
James Slater, NFL Network. I know in the past you guys haven't been afraid of rolling the dice on a player with injury history or that has some concerns there. What is the philosophy and approach to players with injuries or an injury history this year? Has that changed with you, Shawty?
No, I think, at the end of the day, when we go out there, Jane, we're trying to get the best football players, one. We do an incredible job, Jim Maurer, the training staff, of looking at all these guys. There's different grades that we look at. But we're looking for players that can come in and help us win now. That doesn't mean they have to be ready to go for the start of the offseason program or when they get here. But we want guys.
Hold on. Did y'all hear it? Y'all hear what Brian Schottenheimer just slipped in there? They don't have to be ready by the beginning of training camp. So it sounds like the Cowboys are going to keep their options open. Let me see. There are 2 players that come to my mind when I think about players that have been injured that the Cowboys may be interested in. 1, Jordan Tyson. Second player they could be interested in that has been injured, and we're starting to hear even worse things about this player that he may absolutely not be ready, and that is Jamad McCoy. What do you mean they don't have to be ready at the beginning of training camp? Come on, yes they do. You cannot be in win now mode, and the players are not ready to hit the ground running in training camp. You cannot say you're in win now mode. That is not in win now mode. Win now mode is exactly what Jerry said on his bus. No red shirt season for any players. You mess around and get an injured player, and the rehab itself may do something to him. Just like it did Savone Revel Jr. last year. No injured players. None.
Guys that can come in and contribute to our football team and help us build on some of the great things we did last year.
Availability bit us good last year. We made some plans for some corners.
You said he was talking about Bland and
Ezra
Ezraku?
Plans for whether it be draft pick or otherwise. We projected that did such things as saying they ought to be ready to go by the 6th game or the 5th game. And this year, with the nature of what we're trying to do defensively, red shirts, guys that may not get out there until the latter part of the year or playoffs, or if, for that matter, really in their stride, they've been pushed back in my thinking.
One more follow-up. I know you love the adrenaline. You've got.
Yeah. And again, Douglas Harrison, what's going on today? I don't care if it's the offseason program. They can't be here. If I'm the Cowboys, if you're going to miss the offseason program, you can't be here. You cannot be here. Not another one of those years. Not another one, because I'm telling you, a player that's not ready for the offseason program, watch what I tell you. He'll be the same player that's not ready for the beginning of training camp. He'll be the same player, because we were saying the same stuff. We were saying the same stuff about Savon Revel Jr. last year. Savon, he won't be ready for the offseason, but he'll be ready for training camp. He wasn't ready for training camp. Oh, he'll be ready for the preseason. He wasn't ready for preseason. He'll be ready by the first game. He wasn't ready by the first game. Don't get any of these players that are not going to be ready even for the offseason program. Why? Because it's simple. Because you never know. You never know what kind of setbacks they are going to have. I risk the injury risk of a player that's not been injured than counting on a player to be ready by the beginning of training camp that wasn't ready for the offseason. No, none of them. I don't want any of them.
2 picks in the first round. Draft is moving a little quicker this year. Do you guys like that?
Sure. I mean, I think we're very prepared for it. I think it's the right thing to do. We went over it in the competition committee thoroughly, and it's plenty of time to do what you need to do, whether you're going to make a trade. There's a lot of, as you all well know, just sitting there. Just make sure that phone doesn't ring one more time and give us an opportunity we may want to take. But 8 minutes is plenty of time, and I think it'll be great for the fans that they don't have to sit around and wait. And so I think it's a positive thing and certainly won't affect us in the least.
Brad Sham, Cowboys Radio 105.3 The Fan.
Rico Jones, I'm telling you what I think this press conference is about. I could be totally wrong. I haven't heard anything yet from the Joneses that I didn't already know, just being honest. I haven't heard anything so far that I actually didn't already know. I really believe there are 2 points to this press conference. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I only think there are 2 points. First point, we can do anything in this draft. Prepare yourselves. We may even go offensive tackle. Angie keep joking. I don't even know if Angie joking. I don't even know if Angie joking, because Angie may be for real too. But I think they're telling us, y'all just prepare yourselves. We can do anything in this draft, Pat. We can trade up, we can trade back, we can trade to the side, we can trade George Pickens, we can get, I mean anything. We're gonna get an offensive player. Who knows who we got? I think that was the number one issue. We want to prepare our fan base to understand that we can do anything in this draft. The second thing I think they wanted to do in this press conference, to announce to the Cowboys fans in the court of public opinion, we're not extending George Pickens at this time. I think those were the 2 things that they're trying to do. All this other stuff, it's really not stuff that we didn't already know. It's not stuff that we really didn't know in the grand scheme of things. What's going on, No Face Thriller?
Will, how important do you think it is to draft on Friday?
Well, we have a pick on Friday now.
One right now.
And, and the thought process is it'd be great to have 2, if not more. But that's certainly something we're looking at.
Oh, man.
I think it was important.
Derrick Rose, that's
get a
why we're
pick
doing
on
so much.
Friday.
That's why we're doing so much talking in between the Derrick Rose
in that range.
He said his funeral. He said a funeral is more exciting than this press conference.
And but at the same time, we'll measure it all. Moving up to get the quality gives you a lesser chance to have more picks on Friday. So all that'll be measured, Brad, in terms of what we ultimately decide to do, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it's as it comes out, we'll figure it out. That's my best answer.
Would be do you view that third-round pick that you got as we can't go all those picks on Friday and not pick anybody, or if we need to give that third pick up to do something else, then we'll have to live with that?
I think my leanings would be more toward having a pick on Friday. But at the same time, if it's the perfect situation and that turns out not to be the case, then we made a decision that it was in our best interest to not have the pick and maybe have, in our opinion, a much better football player that fit for us, that was going to make us a much better football team next year.
Yeah, and again, I'm going to tell you right now, the Cowboys don't want to be out of day two. They don't want to be out of day two. They want to have the drama in day two. They want to have, because I'm telling you right now, the Cowboys are really the most exciting thing of the day one of Thursday of the draft. And if the Cowboys can, they want to be the best thing on day two of the draft. It's no doubt about it. There's no doubt in my mind the Cowboys are wanting, because, to be honest, in a draft, let's just be honest. In the grand scheme of things, we've only been talking, and I don't remember it being like this. Maybe I'm just going crazy in my older age. But I can't remember a year where we've only talked about the top 11 picks the way we have. Because really, other than the top 10 or 11 picks, no one has hardly talked about any other players. Nobody. I've heard nobody. I don't remember a year being like this. And so it seems like to me this whole draft is riding on day one. And if you're talking about day one, then the Cowboys are the most exciting thing going. They got 2 first-round picks and a 12 and a 20. They got George Pickens. They need defense. There are teams that want to trade out, and they're all targeting the Dallas Cowboys. What other teams out of the top 10 have the draft capital and the player that other teams may want? It's the Dallas Cowboys. Teams know the Cowboys want to trade up. Know they need defense. Got George. The Cowboys are literally going to carry this draft. They're literally going to carry this draft. This draft would be trash without the Cowboys. It would be trash. Everybody wants to know, who are the Cowboys going to pick up? I'm telling you now, the draft is pretty much going downhill after the Cowboys. I'm telling y'all right now, the draft is going downhill after the Cowboys. The rest, we're just going to be watching the rest because, one, as we've already talked about, this draft isn't the fire draft that some people are saying it is. It's not that fire of a draft. You're going to have to do some scouting. It's just a bunch of big guesses in this draft about players. Bottom line, I'm telling y'all, this draft is over after the Cowboys pick at number 20. It's over. And it's going to be exciting all the way up to 12, boring all the way up to 20. And after the Cowboys, it's over. The draft is over. I'm just telling you. The draft is over, man. I'm just telling y'all the facts, man. This draft is over after the Cowboys.
Saturday, with the AP. Hope this isn't too much of a Captain Obvious question, Stephen, but in 2008, y'all had two.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, man, people been hating on that dude, Kayvon, what's his name? Kayvon Thibodeau. Shoot, if I was the Cowboys, I'm not giving up no one for Kayvon Thibodeau. Shoot, man. I would definitely consider a third. I would definitely consider a third. Because maybe under the Cowboys coaching, Thibodeau could be better. I would definitely consider it.
2 firsts, and you set a record for trades during the draft. Is there something about having 2 firsts that makes it that way, where there's a lot more of that possibility going on? And if so, what do you think makes that happen?
No, I think, in the first round is where a tremendous amount of the draft value is in terms of how people value their draft charts. And so when you got an extra one, then that's even more value that you have in this particular draft that enables you to do more. And especially if you move those picks back, then you ultimately end up having more picks.
Shoot, hey, shoot, Megan Sedone said, I'm out after the first round. He said, I'm out. He said, I'm out, man. Old school, I do think there are going to be some good players. The problem is, man, the talent ain't where it's been in the past. So whatever players get picked, man, we're going to see what scouting look like in this draft. I'm just telling you, man. We going to see what scouting look like. Because you're going to really have to do some scouting in this draft to get those players that fit your scheme.
And then those picks are subject to trade and on and on and on. Now, going up obviously shrinks that in terms of the value because it's expensive to move up in the first round. And it takes a lot of your later.
Angie said Stephen Jones knows the draft like the draft system, like the coupons in his wallet. Shoot, he tight. I wouldn't be surprised he had coupons in his wallet.
Picks to make those moves.
Brian, I think it was the owners' meetings, you talked about how much more comfortable you were in year 2 as a head coach going into the draft. Now that that process is just about complete, the draft prep, how do you kind of look at how much more comfortable you were in year 2?
Yeah, sitting in the meeting, Skylar, is just, you had a much greater feel for different players and how you can compare a nickel safety from a nickel corner and things like that and the value that they would add to the football team. Just a lot of late nights with these guys getting comfortable in the beginning, and then now that we've kind of gotten through the draft process, watching more film on my own and just bringing in different coaches to talk about things that we might be looking for. I feel much more prepared, and we'll have probably more conviction than some of the positions last year where maybe I was a little bit less comfortable of exactly this player or that.
Joe.
Joe Hoyt, Dallas Morning News. Jerry, you guys have been known as a draft and develop franchise. Over the last 3 years, you've got 3 different defensive schemes.
Here's our President Clinton coming through the door out here. He's coming up here to say hello to us.
Jerry Jones said, that's my cue. I'm out of here. Jerry said, I'm out of here, man.
But then go through your question again here.
All right, let's get past it. Jerry said, I got to go entertain the president. He said, I'm out of here, man. All right, so I know some of us have heard a lot of this. So what I'm going to do, because I really don't think they're talking about anything. It's like it's like the press or trying to pull some things out of them, but they're not giving up anything. They're not giving up anything. So I want to skip to the part with George Pickens because I really think this is the whole purpose of this. It was 2 purposes: prepare our fan base for what we're going to do, and prepare our fan base for what we're not going to do. Let's see if we can skip to that George Pickens part.
Stephen and Jerry, and it's something that I think we're set up to have a great draft.
Kyle
Yeomans, Cowboys TV. This one's for Stephen and Will. With such a long break, assuming you don't make a move to get a second round or a third round pick, going from 20 to 92 is quite the wait. How do you handle that time in the war room, and what kind of conversations are going on as those picks continue to fly off?
A lot of cookies and chips.
Some form of it. And it's certainly a very interesting tool that can really be of help.
You are using it, how it's changed your process.
I was prepared for that question because I used AI. And
Okay, let me
We're honest.
And then Jerry,
let me track down the George Pickens part. I was on it today. See, I think it's about right. Let me see.
Transfer portal being such a big factor now in college football, just how much has that changed?
Because I actually got another, man, let me tell you something. John Gruden. I don't know if y'all seen it, but I'm going to show y'all a John Gruden video, so I don't want to play this whole thing. Boy, I see you, Bass. Boy, I ain't gonna even read that. All right.
having 2 receivers.
All right, maybe this is it.
Came to the decision of having play on the franchise tag and not negotiate? Is it because of the market? What are those?
You know, there's a lot with CD and Dak and Coach Schottenheimer's offense. I think he loves Coach Schottenheimer and what he brings to the table. But
okay, maybe I was in the right spot. Okay, so what we're gonna do? We're gonna listen to the George Pickens part because they're not telling us anything we haven't heard. I'm gonna let y'all hear to something I saw about John Gruden. John Gruden is going to talk to us about. Well, I'm not going to have him on the show. I mean, but the video, it's talking about some players that people may have overlooked because he's one of the first people I've seen do this. He's talking about players that people may be overlooking that could be steals in the draft. So I don't want to continue to watch paint dry and bore us with the Stephen Jones, with the rest of this being Stephen Jones, McClay, and Shotty.
How much has that changed the evaluation process? How many people you have to talk to do homework on a player throughout the process?
Yeah, it's changed. I mean, just there's evolution, so it's changed. So you got to change your approaches. We want to keep the same principles, but we got to talk to 3 or 4 different people from different schools. There's 24, 25, 26-year-old guys coming out now that's different than what we've done, been doing in the past. So you've got to evolve with it. Our guys go and they dig, and we do cross checks. We Zoom calls, everything that we can to find out as much as we can about the guys, and that's truly that's a huge part of what we do. Anybody can evaluate. You guys can look at the tape on TV and have your opinion of what they can do, but it's also the people and understanding who and what they are is the biggest part of it.
Are you still getting the kind of detailed responses from coaches when they knew a player for 3-4 years as opposed to only knowing him for like a year or 2 years?
No, you've got to piece it all together because typically when you leave one spot and go to another, nowadays
got tagged a second time, whether it's D-Law, this decision. Have George play under the franchise.
Are negotiations with George Pickens going, and how does that impact your approach to the draft?
Yeah, I think we've made a decision that we're going to have George play under the franchise tag, which won't be a first for us. So there won't be negotiations on a long-term deal. But that's certainly not a first for this organization and certainly won't be a first in the league in terms of, this decision as we move forward. But whether it's Dak Prescott, who played under one and got tagged a second time, whether it's D-Law, whether it's Tony Pollard, we've certainly had those situations. We're so fired up to have George on this football team, and obviously he's been here for a year. We gave up a third-round pick for him, and certainly he's made tremendous progress in the year that he's been here. I think he'd be the first to tell you that this is a great situation for him, playing with CD and Dak and Coach Schottenheimer's offense. I think he loves Coach Schottenheimer and what he brings to the table, but certainly a conscious decision that we've made.
And Ryan, knowing of players coming into a year on the franchise tag with that lack of security, how does that affect, you as the offensive play caller and touches and things of that nature, given the business side?
I don't worry about that. I mean, it's like Steven said, there's different scenarios that these guys play under. They love the football game, the game of football. George is no different. We're thrilled that George is here, and we expect him to have another great year. And he's a huge part of the success that we had last year.
Boy. Bass, you know you crazy, man. Bass said, "Hills have eyes. Look at Stephen Jones. Boy, you know you crazy." We beat this super chat. True Texas, appreciate it. True Texas said, "May Jerry show us all mercy and put it in his will that the team must be sold to anyone other than his family. I've grown so tired of this." Man, let me tell you something. True Texas. You know, it's funny what you're saying, but it's actually not funny. I don't know if anybody in the family loves the Dallas Cowboys like Jerry Jones do. I really don't. I don't know if anybody in that family loves the Dallas Cowboys the way Jerry does. This was Jerry's dream. This wasn't his family's dream. I just wonder if when Jerry is gone, will they sell the team? It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I've never heard. I don't think the Joneses family would even have the same impact that Jerry has had on the NFL. The Cowboys will always be America's team, I believe. But as far as the impact that Jerry has had on this league and some of the things that Jerry does with this league and how he's even helped the Cowboys do for this league, I just don't think they could carry that on. I just think those are some huge shoes to fill. Wouldn't surprise me if they sold the Cowboys because I don't know if any of them love. Jerry loves football. Don't get it twisted on Jerry. Jerry don't know how to win. I think he's trying to get there now. But man, I'm telling you, Jerry loves football. I'm not sure if Steven and the rest of them love football. But maybe we'll see in our lifetime. We'll see.
Year, and that's not going to change.
Okay. Stephen, can you elaborate on the reasons why you made that decision, came to the decision of having put on the franchise tag and not negotiate? Is it because of the market? What are the...
There's a lot of things that go into that clearance. Went into whether it's a Tony Pollard, whether it's a DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, let's start with the fact it's not easy, having two receivers. Being paid top of the market. I mean, that's obviously a stretch, especially when you have other great players on your team.
Now, see, this logic right here is where I'm struggling. You say you can't have two top-of-the-market players. But if George Pickens plays on a tag, you're going to have two top-of-the-market players. What are you talking about? This part of the conversation don't make sense to me. You got CD at what, 34, 36, but they've already done something with CD's contract, if I'm not mistaken. You're going to literally have George playing with $27 million right off of the cap. And you're saying that you couldn't support another $7 to $8 million. That logic don't make sense to me. This is the part where this goes off the rails for me when you say you can't afford them, because that's exactly what you're going to do. And if you decide to franchise George again, you're going to do it twice. It don't make sense.
A quarterback
It don't make sense. I mean, if you can't do it, then you can't do it this year either. It don't make sense to me. It don't make sense. I wouldn't be using these. This is one of his old excuses. Yeah, man. We can't afford two top of the market. Yes, you can. Because you're about to do it. You're about to do it. I mean, if you can't do it, then you're not going to do it. Because you're talking about still $27 million and whatever CD is making this year. That doesn't make sense to me, what he's saying. Doesn't make sense.
Been here, being the highest paid player in this league for many years now. Certainly,
I see you, True Texas.
That's part of it.
You was not joking. I agree with you.
Of George being here. And I think George has just done an amazing job. I mean, he's exceeded all expectations. I think anybody, or we wouldn't have gotten him for a third-round pick. So that's a plus. And, a lot of these things, they make their way toward a long-term deal. But that's the biggest part of it. Between the business and the newness of it, I think that's a big part of it.
But see, Steven is really defeating his own. Once you say that you cannot afford to pay two wide receivers at the top of the market, how is this leading to a George Pickens extension? Because you're going to have to pay him top of the market money. You can't pay George Pickens less than DK Metcalf. You can't. You might could get away with paying him less than CD, but you cannot get away with paying him less than DK Metcalf. George Pickens is better than DK Metcalf. He's better than DK Metcalf. You're answering your own question in a sense. I mean, it's not even a question, but you're defeating your own statement. If you can't pay two wide receivers top of the market money, what are you considering top of the market money? Are you wanting George to play for $28 million a year for the next 3 or 4 years? I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I wouldn't even say that type of stuff right there because that part don't make sense. You either can or you can't because you're going to have to do it this year. You're going to have to do it this year. So if you can do it this year, you can do it. It doesn't make sense. I don't know any other way to slice it. It don't make sense what he said.
Assume you've informed him and his representatives that you're playing on this tag and that don't worry about next year?
Yes, he's aware. And so is Mulligetta.
What was their reaction?
I don't think that's productive to get into details of what the.
He said, what was their reaction? Boy, that's cold. That's a cold-blooded question right there, bro. What was their answer? What you want them to say? They threw the phone down? Come on, man. He said, what was the reaction, man? He said, what was the reaction? Boy, that's a diabolical follow-up question right there, boy. Boy, that question is that follow-up question was diabolical. What was the reaction? Come on, man. Come on, man. Boy, that's crazy. That's a crazy follow-up right there, boy. Boy, that's a crazy follow-up.
If they want to tell you, they can tell you. You can ask them.
Boy, that's a crazy
No assurances.
follow-up.
I mean, just like there's no assurances on other players.
Ooh.
I mean, everybody. That's why it's the off season and it's voluntary. It just turns out that we've been very fortunate over the years.
Angie, what you think about that follow-up question, boy? That follow-up question was diabolical. Boy, that follow-up question was diabolical, boy. What was their reaction? Boy, that's diabolical, boy. Shoot, Frank Lawrence, appreciate that super chat, bro. He said, bottom line, the Joneses won 3 Super Bowls without paying. 14 draft picks out of 24 players listed as starters. Need another Herschel Walker trade to get a super team. You right. I don't know if they gonna get it, but they definitely need something like that. Man. Keith Washington said, where's Jimmy Johnson when you need him? In Miami off the Florida. He's down there, what do they call him? The Florida Keys or somewhere? That's where he is. Sub-Zero says, Steven laid it out plain. I'm going to laugh my butt off when he shows up for training camp. He wasn't going to take the cheese. Yeah, man. Terry Rose says, Stephen Jones must be auditioning for Dumb and Dumber. The way he's saying he could not afford 2 top receivers making big money. Man, bro, he defeated his entire argument. How can you not afford it? You're actually letting George Pickens hit $27 million of the bottom line this season. You could extend George Pickens and make George Pickens make his cap hit be negligible. I mean, you could make George Pickens hit your cap this year for less than $10 million. Come on, Steven. Come on, man. You can't say stuff like this and expect us to believe it. You can't expect us to believe this stuff. Edgy, I'm sorry, that follow-up question was diabolical. How did they respond? I mean, what you want them to say? Yeah, man, they threw. All I heard was stuff falling out. Come on, man. Yeah, David Mulligetta cussed me out when I said it. Stop it. Stop it, man. Stop it. But I'm going to tell you something about these guys, David Mulligetta and all these guys. I'm sure they expected this. I'm sure they expected it. I'm sure they expected it.
Years that people love to make their homes here in Dallas, and for the most part, we have great attendance at our voluntary programs. But no, we have no assurances of that.
Shadi had asked Micah last year to come for the first day. Have you done the same with George?
I will. I have not. Yeah. There's as we're starting obviously on Monday, but had great conversation with George, and again, I look forward to him kicking ass this year.
I think you might share with him what you shared with me on his workouts. He's been working out.
Yeah, throwing with Dak. He loves it here, and you guys get a chance to talk to him, obviously. But I think we're thrilled with what he did. We're looking forward to another great year. What was really cool for me in our conversation with him was him talking about taking the next step as a leader. And the influence that he has on this locker room is very powerful because he loves playing football so much, and that's what we love about George. And so, but.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be so honest. I cannot stand this type of conversation. I can't stand it. I worked in corporate America and worked in as being sales managers in big companies. I dealt with this stuff, and I can't stand this conversation. And I can't stand what Brian Schottenheimer's saying. I just got to be so honest, man. It bothers me to no end. More than one thing can be true. The Cowboys got all the leverage. It is what it is. They have all the leverage. They brought George in. He had an incredible year with Dak Prescott. George the turnaround from where he was in Pittsburgh, humongous, even though I still blame a lot of that on that situation. But people still have a lot of apprehension, or some people have apprehension about George. But the part of this conversation that I cannot stand is when somebody will tell you to your face that you're great, but not great enough. I'd rather you not even talk to me, man. I would rather you not even have conversations like this about me. I want y'all to hear how crazy this is. You're selling somebody, you're selling to somebody or people how great a person is, while at the same time telling them same people that you're really not that great because we're not willing to take a chance on you. I can't stand this conversation. I'm just being so real. My toes would be curling up in my shoes right now. My toes will be curling up in my shoes because I know I'd be wanting to go off right now, but I know it wouldn't be in my best interest. A Christian principle is having self-control. But I'm telling you, I can't stand this conversation they're having right now. I can't stand it. It's just a bunch of junk. I can't stand it. We don't need you to tell us how great George Pickens was. We don't need you to tell us how good he is. We don't need any of that junk. We got the stats. We got the tape. We got everything George did. We watched every single award that George won this year. We saw it. And I can't stand for someone to look people in the eye and tell someone how great a person is while saying, but they're not great enough. Can't stand this conversation. I don't care what anyone says. This, and respectfully, I say that. It's a trash conversation. It's trash, man. It's disingenuous. It's trash. It's stupid. It shouldn't even be had. This is a dumb conversation. It's stupid. I would still tell George, calm down, bro. But this is some bull junk, man. It's bull. I mean, I just don't understand. And man, come on. Look at Brian Schottenheimer's face when he's saying this stuff. Come on, man. Brian can't even believe this. Brian ain't even believing this mess. Stop it. Brian ain't believing this mess. Keep talking about how excited you are for George. Well, pay him. You know what'll make George excited? Secure his future. Give him the $70 million guaranteed contract. Secure his future. Don't tell me how great I am. I know I'm great. This is why I tell people all the time, you better know how great you are. I told y'all in the beginning, you better know how great you are so that when people start feeding you this bull junk right here, you don't even fall for it. It's bull junk. I know I'm great. As somebody said in the comments, thank you, Captain Obvious. You're telling me everything I already know about myself. But then at the same time, you're slapping me with the back of your hand. But you're not quite good enough. Shut this comment, or I can't stand this conversation, man. This is a terrible conversation that they're having about George Pickens. And nobody should buy this junk. It's junk. It's pure junk. Let's just say it what it is. Bro, we got leverage on George Pickens. He's playing on $27 million and we don't care what. Tell me that. I can deal with that. Man, let me tell you something. I tell people all the time, man, I can take the truth. Boy, I'd rather you, if you don't like me, man, I'd rather you tell me you don't like me. Don't front and tell everybody how great I am. Oh, why would you think I don't like him? Now, don't do that stuff to me. I'd rather you tell me straight up, man, I don't like you. Tell me. Man, I'm a grown man. Just tell me how it is. Hey, this is how it is. We got leverage on you, George, and you're either playing on this franchise tag or you're not. Thank you. Now I know how to function going forward. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It's stupid. I don't need you hyping me up. I already know I'm great. I don't need you hyping me up. What you hyping me up for the people? Why you hyping me up to people? What are you doing that for? It don't make sense. Oh, can't stand this. It is so disingenuous. It is so disingenuous. Man, just leave it at the truth. Hey, we got George on a we got George on a non-exclusive franchise tag. And he's playing on that tag, and that's what we've decided. I'd rather hear that. I'd rather hear that than this. To listen to people talk about how great I am, but then say, but you're not great enough. Shut up. Shut up. Where do I sign? Remember one time when I worked in the World, had this guy, and he wanted to write me up. And I did something that I made a mistake. I did something I shouldn't have done. And he had a guy in there, and they're going to sit here and tell me, ooh, we hate to write. I told him to his face, shut up. Where do I sign? I don't need you telling me all of this, that, and the other about how great I am. I know what I am. Where do I sign so I can go ahead and do what I need to do? Because I ain't got time for the rest. It's bull. It's just a bunch of chit chatter. It's crazy work. It is crazy work. This is, I can't. I can't.
But I will. I will reach out and talk to him. But again, it's all voluntary.
No. See, I got a problem. No, bro. Don't tell the press you gonna talk to George. You should have talked to George before you talked to the press. You said you already told his representation and you told him and his representation. Stop it. My gosh, man. Just crazy stuff. It just really, for me, it just throws fuel on the fire, man. Shut up. I don't need you to be telling people how great I am while telling people that you're not going to extend me. And now I got to go out here and play on a $27 million tag, which that's way more than what I've made before. But I want some security. Don't tell people, can't stand this conversation. It's so dishonest and disingenuous, man. Oh my, man, I'm telling you, the Bible says speak the truth in love. Man, tell me the truth, bro. I just deal better with the truth. I'm just more comfortable with the truth, man. Hey, George, this is how it is, bro. You're on a non-exclusive tag. You know, you pretty much not going anywhere. We pretty much own your rights. You played a great season last year, but guess what? We need to see more. We need to see more. And maybe it isn't even we need to see more. Right now, we're just more comfortable with you paying on a $27 million tag. It is what it is. Need you gaslighting me. Man, I don't need you hyping me up, bruh. It's just so disingenuous. Sub-Zero Prime, appreciate that super chat. He said these guys are not going to tip their hand. He says as far as GP goes, he knows what the plan really is. It is just a matter of the execution. Be patient. Things have to be worked. Things have to be worded the way that they are. Man, let me tell you something. I'd rather they not be worded that way. Me, I don't need all that junk. It's just bull junk, man. Rombowski said NFL players don't have the luxury of being patient. With one injury, their career could be done. It's about securing their financial future with their stock is high. And today, that's with guaranteed money. Yes, sir, bro. There it is. There it is. B. Mark. He said, how frustrating you can be with a guaranteed $27 million deal for 1 year. You know how frustrated I can be? When I know that I can get a $70 million deal. That's how. That's how I can be frustrated. When I know that I should be getting $70 million. And that come hell or high water, I would be getting $70 million. If I had that kind of talent, that I know that I'm one of the top 10 wide receivers in the world, I want that top 7 money. I want it. See, we're talking from a position of $27 million is more than what he's made, and I get it. I get it. I'm not hating on that either. But don't tell me I'm worth more than that while not giving me what you're telling me I'm worth. Shut that conversation down. I don't need that conversation in my life. And why are you telling other people this? It's crazy. It's a crazy conversation that they're having about this man. It's crazy. They're telling him how great he is while not saying, they're telling him how great he is, but they're not going to pay him for how great he is. I don't need that conversation. It's disingenuous. And again, with all due respect, it's one thing when you're worth only $27 million guaranteed. It's another thing when you know you are worth $70 million guaranteed. And I'm not going to let anybody, if I'm George Pickens, I'm not going to let anybody tell me I'm not worth $70 million guaranteed. I'm not going to let nobody tell me that. I refuse to let somebody tell me that. When I know what I did this past season and what I've done over my last few seasons with some of the worst quarterbacks in this league. They're the worst quarterbacks in this league that he played with. It's a trash conversation, man. It's a trash conversation. And they shouldn't be having this conversation about this man. They shouldn't. I'd rather them leave it at business. I'd rather them leave it at business, man. I would.
And guys will be in and out for different reasons.
Steve, how does that decision influence the way you might view the availability of a receiver that you like in the draft?
I mean, that's all part of a global picture.
Oh my gosh, these questions, boy. And I like that one. I know what they're trying to do. Oh, so if you're looking at him for 1 year, let's translate what he just said. Is Jordan Tyson on the board? Because it sounds like that this is a one more year for George and he's done. I know why he's asking that question.
Obviously, Brad, it's a great point. certainly you're always looking at that.
You doggone right. It's a great point.
We took C.D. Lamb. We had some really good receivers on this team, but we took him. And certainly, be no different as we look at the board. And
stop it, Steven. Stop it. This is a whole different situation. This is a whole different situation right here, bro. There are some ramifications if y'all get Jordan Tyson. I don't believe the Cowboys will keep Jordan Tyson, C.D. Lamb, and George Pickens for more than a year. I could be totally wrong.
Our number gets called to pick, and we'll make that decision at that point. But we're certainly not opposed to taking the best player on our board. I mean, that's usually where we've had our most success is doing that. As Jerry said, we were all set to go defense. And in that particular draft, and C.D. Lamb was sitting there. And
we can just kill the whole C.D. Lamb conversation. If Jordan Tyson is sitting there, if all of those defensive players that they want in that top 12 or top 11 are gone, because I do believe Jeremiah Love is the player that he ain't falling to 12, but if he did, the Cowboys will take him too. They are preparing us that and let's even go further. It might not even be Jordan Tyson. Even if there's a Cornell Tate there, the Cowboys might take a Cornell Tate. Crazy, crazy, crazy conversation. This is why George, whoever his representation is, man, y'all just, if I'm George's representation right now, I'm just telling you where I am. If I'm David Mulugeta right now, this is where I am with George. George, we're going to have to play this out and get away from the Cowboys next year if that's the case. But we got to play this out this year. You can't tell George to have a phantom injury. You can't tell George to hold out and do something crazy. Don't sign it for the whole year and sit out a whole year. It just makes it worse. The Cowboys have you another year. No. You just got to tell him, bro, play it out. If they sign you, they do. If they don't, you don't. Either way, you're going to hit the lottery later on. It's the only thing you can do.
And that's the guy we went with, and it's turned out to be a great selection for us.
George hasn't signed the tender yet. Is that the case? He hasn't signed, right?
He hasn't signed.
Okay, so what does that mean for when it becomes, mini camp and they're supposed to be here, but he's not under contract? So
he's not under contract.
So would you expect him to sign it before then, or do you have any idea?
That's up to George and David in terms of the decision they ultimately make.
See, this is war, man. George is in the middle of a war. I said this last year. This is a war. This is a war of Jerry Jones against David Mulugeta. This is a war. And I'm telling y'all right now, this ain't about George. This is about David Mulugeta and Jerry. I believe Jerry is still upset that he had to let go of Michael Parsons because of David Mulugeta. This is about David Mulugeta, it seems like to me, and Jerry Jones. And George is in the middle. Now the question is, y'all already heard, man, I just think if you pay attention to some of the things these guys have said now, some of this stuff is starting to make even more sense to me. Jerry Jones almost told David Mulugeta, or almost told George Pickens, fire David Mulugeta. It's like he almost told him, because you can make more money if you dealt directly with me. So when did they make this decision on franchise tagging George? Because it was just, 2 weeks ago, Jerry said if George dealt directly with me, he could make more money. But now we're franchising George Pickens, David Mulugeta. David Mulugeta. David Mulugeta. And that's why Steven is saying it's whatever they want to do. It's check him out. This is crazy work.
You like the draft.
I mean, that's all part of a global picture. Obviously, Brad, it's a great point. Certainly, you're always looking at that. I mean, it's just like we did when we took CeeDee Lamb. We had some really good receivers on this team, but we took him. And certainly, be no different as we look at the board and, our number gets called to pick, and we'll make that decision at that point. But we're certainly not opposed to taking the best player on our board. I mean, that's usually where we've had our most success is doing that. As Jerry said, we were all set to go defense. And in that particular draft in CeeDee Lamb.
I just want you to pay attention. I'm not proclaiming to be a body language expert, but I want y'all to pay attention to one thing. I want you to look at Brian Schottenheimer and Will McClay as Steven is talking. Look at their faces.
Was sitting there, and that's the guy we went with, and it's turned out to be a great selection for us.
George hasn't signed the tender yet. Is that the case? He hasn't signed, right?
He hadn't signed.
Okay, so what does that mean for when it becomes, mini camp and they're supposed to be here, but he's not under contract? So
He's not under contract.
So would you expect him to sign it before then, or do you have any idea?
That's up to George and David in terms of the decision they ultimately make.
This is war. This is war for Jerry and these guys. It's war. When you make this decision, and I always understand this about people, especially when you're talking about people with money. They told us something in the beginning of this interview that we all need to understand that they said. Every move we make, we think about what can be the result. They have already talked about this. They've already considered every single outcome. They've considered it. They've considered every single outcome of what they said to George Pickens. And they're basically saying, David Mulugeta, your move. Your move. We're going to see. We're going to see. Some people say this is all for the show. Well, we're going to see. Because this is some crazy, crazy stuff to me. This is some crazy stuff. Some crazy stuff. Freddie says, bottom line, George should grow a pair and let them drop and go to Mulugeta and tell him, look, Joker, make the deal and make it now. I would. We'll see. It all depends on what they're asking or what they're willing to pay. Rose said, if Jerry's still upset with Dave moved from Ghetto from letting go of Parsons, are they going to let David move from Ghetto because then to lose GP, that's crazy. Well, you just heard Steven. We're going to see what they do next. It's almost... Rombowski says Steven can't be saying all negotiations are on hold then. Be nonchalant on if GP will sign a tag tender or not and be ready for camp. These two attitudes don't fly together. Exactly. I mean, it's like they're talking out of both sides of their neck on this situation. Poobie D said, we do know he told his agent what he wants, right? He's doing his job to get his client the best contract possible, not what works for Jerry. This is what they both have to do. George got to do what's best for him. Jerry's got to do what's best for him. Got to do what's best for them. And I'm going to tell you right now, after what just happened, Angie brought this up earlier about Oso Digizua. I mean, I'm not sure anybody's going to try to give anybody discounts now. No, on the team, you're doing it for the team, and then the team just say, hell, the heck with you. We'll trade you to a place where the tax bracket is insane. And now the money that you could have used to pay some of them taxes, you ain't even got that. Frank Lawrence says, gee, Shotty, Steven, and McClay, he said their body language says Pickens trade is already in the final stage. Man, I'm telling you, I'm preparing myself for anything. I'm preparing myself for anything. Eric, folks, and you know the crazy thing is, I'm going to say what I said before. It's all on George. If George don't react, there will be no drama. George has been controlling this drama really well. If George doesn't react, there is no drama. If George doesn't react, there is no drama. And we're going to see right now if George is betting on himself. And I'll say this, and I'm going to say it again. If George is going to sign the tag, sign the tag. Bottom line, just sign it. Don't wait, sign it. You need to be in camp. Anything that you do that takes away from you only hurts you, because now you got to be for yourself. You have to be for yourself. You got to ride on yourself now, man. If you're gonna sign it. Be there. Be there. You need to be in whatever they're implementing with plays and all of this stuff. You got to be there. Even if you're not playing, you got to be there.
Okay.
Stephen, when was the last time you actually did talk to George?
Me personally, it's been a minute. Now, Jerry and Shotty had a meeting with him as of late. Within.
It was good. You know, we the thing that George knows about Jerry and myself is we're very upfront and we're honest. We had great conversation. We informed him. We think that that's important because that's the way we handle all of our players and coaches. We're upfront and we're honest.
And then Jerry and I had a call with David last week.
In a hypothetical situation, let's say someone like Jordan Tyson is there, do you pick up the phone and call George and give him a heads up before you do it, or how does that look in order to make sure that everybody is copacetic?
Well, we don't want to get into the weeds like that today. I mean, obviously, as we get ready for this draft,
Boy, they killing them with the questions, boy.
Obviously,
they killing them.
Address those type of situations if they happen to come about, and certainly we go over all our contingencies and how we would handle something or what we would do. But to get into the detail of that, I don't think is productive today.
You said that you and Jerry had a call with David last week. Is that the first time you guys have talked to David? I mean, this has been a storyline for last year. And how did that go?
No, it went real well. Super cordial. Obviously, he can speak to it as well in terms of what his view of it was. But it was very cordial, and we call went on for 5-10 minutes, and it was very productive, I thought.
And that concludes the GP portion of the pre-draft press conference. So let's move on. Sydney?
Sydney Staples, D210 Sports, for Coach Shotty. How are you feeling heading into your second draft?
That was the press conference. Bottom line. That was the press conference. That was the press conference. Everything else, it was just a bunch of goggly goop. That was the press conference. George Pickens is going to play on the tag, or at least that's what we're hearing right now. That's what we're hearing right now. So now the issue becomes, does he sign it? Boy, you are not lying, Dominique. I was thinking the same thing. A 5 to 10 minute conversation was productive. That's crazy. And then he said it was cordial. That's even crazier. That's even crazier, man. That's even crazier. Shoot, Angie, I gotta agree with you. Steven talks the air. He sucks the air out of a ball. He does. He does, man. It's tough. It is tough. Listen. Tough conversation. Absolute tough conversation it is. Real estate vet said if GP gets hurt this season, what does that mean for him next season? Does the price go down? Knock on wood. That's the problem. That's the problem right there. That is the problem, real estate vet. It's one thing to say, okay, George is going to get paid $27 million. I'm not going to poo-poo $27 million. But when you know you're worth $70 million, it's tough. Bottom line. But this is the business. This is the game. This is the business. So now what you have to do if you're George? There's only one thing to do. I mean, I guess there's two things you can do. I don't know if the first one would be good for you if you didn't sign the tag. I mean, he could do that. He could and see what happens. I just don't think that's good for George. I think at the end of the day, pray to God, put your faith in God, go out there, ball out. Don't play not to get hurt. Just keep playing like you've been playing. And George plays in a way where he doesn't, he plays in a way to where he doesn't put himself at risk a lot. But you just going to have to bet on yourself now. Hey, Boki, I think they're already setting it up. I think the Cowboys are already setting it up. That if that whatever they want to do, they're going to do it, even if it's offensively. Let me see something real quick. I think the problem that you'll always have with Jordan Tyson is that you'll always be concerned about his injury history. I think it's one of the biggest things you're always going to be worried about with him. And also with Jordan Tyson, one of the things you're always going to be concerned with is the way Jordan Tyson plays. The way Jordan Tyson plays. I saw a video the other day. They were talking about the way he does some of his cuts and the way he comes out of the breaks. It's very aggressive. So you're always going to be worried about that stuff with him. You are. Frank says, G Money, you said this yourself. The thing you dislike most about the Parsons trade is Jerry waited until after the draft. This is a win. Got a 3. Hey, Frank Lawrence, I mentioned this earlier. You might have caught it. But I said I said this isn't a coincidence that they're talking about this George Pickens thing when? Right before the draft? Hey, it ain't no coincidence, Frank Lawrence. Because Michael put him in a headlock after the draft. So they're doing this with GP and David Mulugeta before the draft so that they can see what as somebody asked, what was the reaction? The most diabolical question of the day. What was the reaction? I'm not buying. I mean, I can understand a cordial conversation, but you can be cursed out in a cordial conversation. You can be cursed out in a cordial conversation. But again, if I was David Mulugeta, and I wouldn't even have to be David Mulugeta, if I was George Pickens' agent, I would have already anticipated this. I would already have talked to George about this. I would have already anticipated it. This actually isn't a surprise. It's just a bunch of bull junk, but it's not a surprise. Real estate vet said, I know we better not go and get another doggone wide receiver. I tell you that much. Better get a left tackle. Better get a left tackle before another wide receiver. Yeah. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. But again, if I'm George, don't be a part of any of the drama. Don't be a part of any of it. Anything they're talking about, don't give any response. Let your agent do the talking. As far as the business goes, let your agent do the talking. You're gonna get paid. I'm telling you, man, I'm doing a series right now on the divine nature of a Christian. Perseverance is one of the things you have to have, man. You have to add perseverance to your faith. You have to add it. You have to be able to endure evil. You have to be able to endure evil, trials and tribulations. You have to be able to endure it. You have to. Bottom line, you know who you are. You know what you can do. Just keep your faith in God. Yep, I see people already. They're talking about it. Is George Pickens on the move? I said it before. I'm not gonna rule out George going somewhere until after the draft, and even then, I'm not gonna rule it out. This is one of them situations, man. He's just got to persevere. There's no other way to slice it. Just gotta persevere. This is the Dallas Cowboys. Just gotta understand this is how we do things sometimes. So it is what it is.
All right, here we go.
All right. And again, this Jordan Tyson conversation is it's growing. It's growing. More people are talking about this Jordan Tyson thing. So I'll be honest with you though. I think Poobie D said it, and I'm kind of the same. I'm kind of the same opinion. I don't think Jordan Tyson is going to be there. I just don't think Jordan Tyson will be there at 12. It'll be a miracle to me if he's there at 12. Even with the injury history, I don't think he's going to be there at 12. We're going to check out John Gruden. But before we talk about John Gruden, I don't think he's going to be there. I think this is one of the reasons why the New York Giants wanted a 5 and a 10. I think they want Jordan Tyson because we got to think about the Cowboys have the best wide receiver duo in the league. Well, if you get Malik Neighbors, I think that's what his name is, the wide receiver for the New York Giants. Man, if you pair up Malik Neighbors with Jordan Tyson, oh man, boy, man, even the Washington Commanders, they might want to they might want to pair him up with the wide receiver they have. I don't even believe he'll make it past the Miami Dolphins if he got that far. I don't think he'll make it that far. I mean, y'all tell me what y'all think. I don't think, with the way they've been talking about Jordan Tyson, I don't think Tyson even makes it to the Cowboys. And if the Cowboys were to trade up to the number 6 spot, I don't think they're trading up to the number 6 spot to get Jordan Tyson. If they're trading up to the number 6 spot, my bet would actually be on Mansour Delane because the Cowboys, they want a cornerback so bad it's killing them. It's been the majority of their 30 visits. It's been cornerbacks. If the Cowboys trade to number 6, I think it's Mansour Delane. I don't think it's Caleb Downs. If Styles is there, it would probably be Styles, but I don't think Styles is going to be there. If they trade to number 6, I'm going first, Mansour Delane. I'm going second, contrary to what everybody's saying. I say they would get Reuben Bain. I don't think they would trade up to number 6 to get Jordan Tyson. I don't. I think Jordan Tyson is if he falls there. I don't think he's falling there. I don't think he's falling there. I don't see how he makes it through this landmine. I don't see how he makes it past Kansas City. I don't see how he makes it past the Giants, and I don't see how he makes it past especially the Miami Dolphins. I don't think he's going to get to the Cowboys. I don't think he gets to the Cowboys. I absolutely don't. I think if the Cowboys trade up with the Browns, they're getting Mansour Delane. It's what makes sense. Derek Rose said, "Gee, I'm praying the Giants take Jordan Tyson because Steven is scaring the devil, let alone Cowboy fans with this foolish talk regarding GP." Yeah. I'm telling you, I don't think he'll be there. Yeah. I don't think he'll be there. I don't. Madman said, Dallas looks at the draft as we don't need the best players, but players can hold our team together just enough. Yeah. And I don't believe in this whole notion of best player available. I don't believe in that philosophy. I don't believe in the philosophy of best player available. If I got needs on defense, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the best defensive player available. If I need help on offense, I'm looking at the best offensive player available. I mean, it's got to be, I'm talking about blue chip, can't miss player that's going to make me go away from my needs. We know the Cowboys need cornerback, edge, linebacker, possibly another great safety. And if I'm going in order, I'm probably going cornerback first, edge second, arguably linebacker second, edge third, safety fourth. That's kind of where I am in that first round. So if I'm the Cowboys, If I'm trading up, it's Mansour Delane. If I'm sitting there and nobody comes, I'm not getting Jordan Tyson, even though I think he'll be gone. I'd trade back. I would actually trade back and see who I could get that would fit my team at number probably 15. But I'm definitely not trading. I'm definitely not getting Jordan Tyson at 12. And I'm definitely not trading up to get Jordan Tyson at 6. If I get up to 6, I'm getting Mansour Delane. That's what I would do. David Everett, I think he'll be gone by the time the Cowboys get there. In order for the Cowboys to get Jeremiah Love, I believe they got to get at the number 3 spot. Because I'm definitely not trading with the Jets. You're going to have to give up too much. They would have to get to the number 3 spot. Because I believe that the Arizona Cardinals are going to take a chance on Ty Simpson. So they probably want to get him at 12. They don't want to pay him that number 3 money. They want to pay him that number 12 money. And nobody's going to get Ty Simpson anywhere from 3 to 12. So if I'm the Cowboys and you really want Jeremiah Love, you'd have to go to 3. You really would. You'd have to go to 3. Because he won't be there at number 6. No way the best player in this draft is going to number 6. You got to go to number 3 if you want Love. No doubt about it. Lawrence said, if we get Miles, Max, or Jeremiah Love and 2 other players, you Love at 12 and 20 in exchange for Pickens trade, will you be disappointed? Frank Lawrence, let me tell you where I am right now. I'm going to get myself in a mindset to where I won't be disappointed. The Cowboys have already prepared me for anything, so I'm not going to be disappointed either way. I just want them to make sure that whatever they do, they make sure they get some good players. Jamil said he thinks linebacker first. I don't think Styles will be there if you trade to number 6 is the problem. The 2 players that we probably want are the same 2 players that the Giants want. So we're not going to be able to get Styles at number 6. You got to go to number 3 if you want Styles or Jeremiah Love. You're not getting them at 6. Ron Hanna said, I'm hearing the Saints and the Giants like Jordan Tyson. I'm telling you, Ron Hanna, he's not going to make it to 12. And there's no way the Cowboys are trading up to number 6 to get Jordan Tyson. Because I'm telling you now, if the Cowboys trade up to number 6 to get Jordan Tyson, they are going to trade George Pickens simultaneously. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. You ain't trading up to number 6 to get a Jordan Tyson. You trading up to number 6, I believe, to get Mansour Delane. If you trade to number 3, you're going for Sonny Styles or either Jeremiah Love. All right, so let's switch gears. Here we go. John Gruden did a video on this year's sleepers in the 2026 draft. So I think this will kind of get our minds back, kind of help us out, get our minds back a little bit settled. Gruden is going to give us some other players that maybe the Cowboys could be looking at in some of the later rounds as well as other people. All right, let's check this out and see who he's talking about because I actually hadn't seen this. Let's check it out.
Bobby, we're back. This is my favorite part of the year, the NFL draft. And we love talking about steals and sleepers. And you guys know how much I love this. I mean, you read that article on The Atlantic. What a complete moron I am, how I don't work and have any clue what I'm doing. It'll be awesome to hear from somebody that actually does.
Okay, Ed, you tell me
now,
if you
we
see
don't want
somebody
to waste
that you
a
like.
lot of time, but what are the steals and sleepers without going too deep and talking too long? Are there 10 guys you want to talk about?
10 guys I want to talk about, Coach.
Let's go.
Let's
10
talk about
sleepers in the
steals
draft.
first because this guy, I think, belongs in the first round. It's a guy that I think people are becoming more familiar with. His name is Max Ihanicher. All right? Max Ihanicher from Arizona State.
Well, he's going to be in the first round, Bobby.
That's not where most platforms.
Anybody familiar with this guy? Max Ihanicher. Anybody familiar?
Have him, but I agree that he belongs there.
Is he a steal, you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you, Demetrius Noel. You said it amazes me that Cowboys fans actually believe that there is a receiver available that will give us the GP production. There's no way. Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, I agree with you. There's no wide receiver that'll give you that production. Not this year. I don't even think next year. George Pickens is the result of now 4 years in the league. You're just not going to do it. Yeah, Bass, again, this is a real sleeper, isn't it? Because I haven't heard of this guy.
Now, Maxi Honicher is 6'6", 321 pounds, and has an arm length of 33 7/8 inches. Big guy, all right? He was born in Nigeria.
Hasn't played football until he got to junior college.
That's correct.
That's all great, but at the end of the day,
yeah.
Is he a great player? Is he going to be a left tackle like Trent Williams? Is he going to be a right tackle like he is at Arizona State? What's he going to be?
That's a question. I think he can play both. I have never seen him play at left tackle. We've only seen him at right, but he's got the arm length. He's got the violence to do so. That's the thing that kind of separates him between a guy everyone else loves, Monroe Freeling. I don't know if you've seen him. This guy shows natural God-given pop in his
King
strikes.
Grant said he's heard of
I see
him.
better hand placement. I see better action on the move. I love Maxi Honicher. I think he's a guy that is going to fit and blend right in to a system in the NFL immediately.
Where do we steal him at?
I think this
in the
guy,
second round, you're saying?
I think this guy is going to go in the first. I think he
well, then
should
he's
go
not
in
a
the
steal. He's a first rounder. What the hell are we doing here, Bobby?
You're going to have 7 guys go before him.
Okay, I got you. Give me the next guy, because I'm confused now. Who's a steal?
Emmanuel Pregnon. Okay.
Guard from Oregon.
Emmanuel Pregnon, guard from Oregon.
We love him here.
We love him. We watched him with some of the best cleanup tape in the entire draft at guard. I'm going to be honest with you, John. My favorite film at guard out of watching anybody. Okay.
Even more than the guy at Penn State.
Even more than the guy from Penn State.
Who is the guy at Penn State?
Vega Ioane.
You like him better than Ioane?
I do. Now, he kind of has a longer journey than some of these other guys. He started his career.
These could be guys the Cowboys could be looking at they could maybe look at in the middle of the draft. 4 or 5. I don't think we have a 6, but we got 3 fifth-round picks. So the Cowboys could be looking at these kind of players at 4 or 5. I don't think there'll be, well, some of these guys, I hadn't seen this, but I don't know. Guys like that first guy, he probably won't be there in the 4th or the 5th. This guy possibly could, but I don't think the other guy is.
At Wyoming in 2020 when Tiger King was coming on. So a little bit longer of a journey in that process. But, man, you watch this guy play. I think he does everything, if not a little bit better, in that 2025 tape than Ioane does.
Now, we've done this a long time. You're saying that at the end of these guys' career, when we look back, Max is going to have the best career of all these offensive tackles that are coming out.
You look at these offensive tackles that are coming out, most teams and analysts are saying, well, he'll probably slide into a guard position. That doesn't make him a tackle. This guy's 6'6".
I know he is.
And he ran a 4.91. He gets out of his sets quick, and he's only been playing for a few years.
You're going on record here, Bobby. You're going on record that Pregnon's going to be the best guard in this draft, and Max is going to be the best tackle in this draft. And maybe The Athletic will write a freaking story about you. Go ahead. Who else you got as a steal?
Can't wait. Prestigious platform. I'm going to talk about, now we get into a little bit later, the guys. This is more of a mid-round pick. Kind of reminds me of similar path of Jalen Tolbert from South Alabama because he also comes from the Sun Belt. This guy is Ted Hurst.
Ted Hurst. Go ahead on this. Ted Hurst. I love it.
Ted Hurst from Georgia State, okay?
Wide receiver. Did you see his combine times?
Yeah. 4.42?
Yeah.
4.4, 240. Now look, a lot of wide receivers in this draft, they're kind of like either like slot or gadgety, or they're big.
The new Jalen Tolbert. Ted Hurst. Maybe that's the name we can hear at the back of the draft. Okay, Ted Hurst. I'm gonna make sure I keep all these names for tomorrow when we have our draft party. Anybody heard of Ted Hurst? Big Rombowski, I thought you'd be weighing in on this when he said Jalen Tolbert.
But they're not athletically explosive. I'm taking a shot on a guy that ceiling is massive. This guy is both those things. He is 6'4", and he is over 200 pounds. Okay, now we can talk about the competition. He checked that box at the Senior Bowl. He played extremely well against guys at his level of competition when he got there. I think this is a guy that, does come with his concerns, like 9% career drop rate, but he's young, he's 21 years old. I was actually very surprised with his yak and the twitch ability that he had for that size. I think this guy's ceiling's through the roof. I'm taking a chance on him where he's projected more so in the 3rd round. He could go before that.
Okay, I'm with you on Hurst, but I don't really see him as a steal or a sleeper. I see him as a badass. Come on, Bobby, give me some names, man, that I don't know.
Okay.
I've heard of all these guys.
All right, let me take you back to a place and time. in the year 2000.
Okay, who is it?
Actually, psych. 2022. It's the semifinal in the playoffs, right? JJ McCarthy, Michigan, favored by probably 87.5 points against TCU. 5 minutes into the game, Bud Clark takes an interception, 41 yards to the house. They end up winning that game, 51-45, before they got slaughtered against Georgia. But Bud Clark is my next guy from TCU.
Go ahead on Bud Clark.
Safety. 15 career interceptions, including that one against J.J. McCarthy. This guy flies around the field. He's also been in the league since 2020 in college football, so he's got plenty of experience, 61 games of experience. The one thing I'm concerned about, size. He's a smaller guy, 6'1", 188, 31.5-inch arms. That does worry me because the durability showed up. Missed 14 games over a 6-year span. Best ability is availability, right, Coach? But other than that, if you put on the tape, this guy flies around. He plays with his hair on fire. It doesn't matter that he's small. He comes in flying against the run game, and he is a gambler. He makes game-changing plays. He takes them to the house. There are a few times on tape where he did get caught, so
you might want to start this conversation by not saying he was on the defense that gave up 51 points to J.J. McCarthy. That's not good, because I want my safety to eliminate big plays. And when I looked at that film, TCU gave up a lot of them. You like Bud Clark as a mid-round pick?
I do.
Okay.
I do. I love him. All right, next name. Nadeem Tucker.
Nadeem Tucker. I got to hear this.
Nadeem Tucker from Western Michigan. Edge.
Give me the height weight on this cat.
6'4", 247.
Oh my gosh, he's light to be an edge. Okay, I forgot. Edge rusher. They're not talking about defensive end because he is light, man.
31 3/8-inch arms, 4.73 speed. Now, when you put on his tape, you'll find something out immediately about him. He gets after the passer. He had 14.5 sacks, tied for the FBS lead with who? David Bailey. I'm not sitting here comparing him to David Bailey. I think it's a different skill set. David Bailey's a top 5 pick in my opinion. Who I am comparing him to is Cassius Howell and R. Mason Thomas.
Rod Hanna, you ain't seen
These
no
are guys
steal
that are
yet.
going to go above him in this draft, and he has a similar skill set. He is probably going to be a little bit more scheme dependent, third down pass rusher, but it's the same exact argument that you have with Cassius Howell and R. Mason Thomas. Their areas of concern are in the run game, setting the edge, but he just has just as much bend and twitch and production. He was the MAC Defensive Player of the Year last year. He's only been playing since his senior year in high school, and he's got untapped potential, I think, as well.
4.73. A lot of production. Good length. Can be an outside linebacker maybe in a 3-4 defense?
Could he be an outside linebacker? Possibly. I don't know if I've seen enough of him in coverage in space to do so, but he is raw.
Okay,
and
Newhouse
he has
fam,
shown
you've heard of
massive
Tucker,
leaps in
okay.
production from year to year.
A lot of production. I like this, Bobby. Okay, you've got 5 guys listed on this next board here. Give me the last 5 sleepers. I need some sleepers.
Okay,
sleepers. You got to have some guys that make your draft. Like usually the second part of the draft, I'd go to Hooters and just disappear. Like the Athletics said, I wasn't even in there. So give me 5 sleepers that we can get.
All right, Coach. I'm glad you said that because this kind of sets off the sleeper portion.
I love this.
Devin Marshall, cornerback, NC State. All right? 5'11". Okay, now, this guy is a combine snub. So I'm about to give you the measurements, but I got them off the internet, and that's always 100% correct and accurate. He is 5'11", 197 pounds, 30 7/8-inch arm reach. So, not the biggest guy, not the most reach. I fell in love with him watching him destroy my beloved Florida State Seminoles. 2 interceptions and 6 pass breakups in one game.
He knocked Taylor, me and Angie in the same boat. We want to tight end. I think a lot of us want to tight end.
And it was against good competition.
What does he run?
He runs a 4.45 at his pro day. He ran a 4.45. And I don't think his recovery speed is the best. That's probably his limitation in his game. But he presses better than just about any corner I watched in this draft, and he did it against good competition. Malachi Fields, forced fumble against Miami, coverage against Malachi Toney. Didn't get a combine invite, isn't even on some websites listed as a draft prospect in this. Devin Marshall is going to be a steal. He plays with a chip on his shoulder.
I like it. I like it. Give me some more.
All right.
Devin Marshall. NC State's had a lot of good players come out of there. They struggled this year. Give it to me.
I want
Xavion Thomas.
Wide receiver, LSU. 5'10", 190 pounds, and an arm length of 30.5
We've
inches.
been watching a lot of Nussmeier. You know that.
I know.
We
and
know
Jake,
this.
this is
know
a shout out
Thomas.
to Jake. Me and Jake were watching Garrett Nussmeier get demolished on a few plays with what we could call at best questionable offensive line play, correct? He throws a prayer out to the flat against Vanderbilt. He's surrounded by 7 players.
Megan, I'm shocked they haven't traded Schoonmaker. I'm actually shocked. This is the Cowboys saying that we think there's some hope. I'm shocked they hadn't traded him.
What does he do?
Touchdown.
Beats all of them. Not only does he beat all of them, he breaks the initial contact, breaks 2 more tackles, gets to the sideline and takes off, and no one is even near him. Why? Because he's got 4.28 speed, and he's one of the best punt returners in the country. You want to talk about...
Why you got him as a sleeper then? I mean...
Because he's rated in the 7th round and beyond.
By the Athletic or what?
Mostly by the Athletic.
Shit. I love this guy. 4.28, great returner.
You'll see
You know we move guys up a whole point when they're returners because you know they can run after the catch. You know they're tough as hell.
I'm going to make a note of all these guys. I'm going to see if the Cowboys get one of these guys in that 4th or 5th round.
Coach, he's got 95 career returns.
I'm glad you brought up
3
Thomas.
of them for touchdowns.
Yeah, and he's a great kid.
All-American.
Going here.
All-American freshman.
Shh, don't bring his name up. He's a sleeper. Who else you got?
I do want to do a little story on this guy, okay? Tyron Montgomery, wide receiver, John Carroll University.
Wow. I love this college, man. This is where London Fletcher went. This is where Don Shula coached. This is where Josh McDaniels. This is a football heaven, man. John Carroll.
My problem with these wide receivers, they would obviously have to be slot wide receivers.
Tell me about Montgomery.
Nick Casario, Greg,
I don't know
Brandon
this name.
Staley. A lot of names went to John Carroll. I didn't know that they had that pipeline before doing this exercise. Okay, little story. Indulge me, okay? This kid, he doesn't play in high school either, right? He's the high school captain of his basketball team. Walks on to LSU. His mom gets sick, goes back home. It's COVID time. He's looking for a job, right? Oh, wait, that's right. There's no jobs unless you're a Japanese baseball player or a WWE wrestler. So what does he do? He does what all of us did. We went to the backyard with our brother and we threw the pigskin around.
Boy, you are not like King Chris. King Chris said this man don't even have a picture. They don't even have a picture of this man up here, boy. How disrespectful. Boy, you are not lying, boy. That is a super sleeper. They ain't even got a picture of him. Boy, if that's not a sleeper, I don't know what is. They ain't got no picture of the man. Come on, man. What he running the 40, man? Ain't got no picture of nothing, boy. We don't know what this man look like. Boy, you ain't lying. He is a sleeper, boy.
And his brother goes, you know, you're pretty good. You could do this. Tries to walk on at Houston. Doesn't make the team. Goes and plays flag football in Miami, okay? He goes to Nicholls State after putting out some film. Has limited production. Runs out of D1 eligibility. Goes to John Carroll University. All he does is set the single season record in yardage, in receptions, and touchdowns. Now, I know what you're thinking.
Could he get this man a picture, man?
Competition. He does look different against these guys. He went.
Well, you say he looked different, but can you show us how he actually look?
Went to the Senior Bowl, and he made guys that are projected to go in the first round at cornerback look silly. He's 25 years old.
Height, weight, speed?
It's 5'11", 190 pounds.
This is a great story.
4.53 speed.
4.53.
No.
That would be tough for some of us. A lot of these guys I worked for in the past.
No.
They said if they don't run under 4.5, they're not.
Okay, Earl Jones said he good. Okay. Earl Jones said he good. 72 Chevelle, they just said he 25. Yeah, they just said he 25.
For us. Yeah. But is he a possession guy? Does he have
50-50 catch artist, body control? He also was tied for 4th in missed tackles.
All right. Let me hear your last two, Bobby.
I have no idea what we're doing when we're talking about this guy.
Wait a minute, now, hold on. He did say 25, because now you scaring me, Newhouse fan. You said 35. Stop it. You said 35.
Another one of my favorites in this draft. That's Harold Perkins Jr., LSU linebacker.
Pass rusher?
Okay, let's have the
this
conversation.
Guy here, I mean, he's unblockable a couple years ago on tape.
True freshman year. He has more tackles for loss, and sacks in his first year as a freshman than Arvell Reese does this
What up,
year.
Angel Eyes?
When I look at these players, I see a similar prototype, and I don't understand why we're not talking about one of them.
Height, weight, speed on Perkins.
Perkins is 6'1", 223 with 31 and 3/8 inch arms.
He's like undersized to play the position.
say,
6'1",
man, he
223.
undersized.
People are concerned about
That's why I was going to bring up. He runs a 4.38. I would like to see him put on a little bit of weight. If you want to take a chance on Arvell Reese in the first round, why would you not want to take a chance on a guy like this in the 7th and beyond? I don't understand it. He also is a special teamer. His freshman year, he was a demon on special teams. I love this guy.
He'd be a great role model. Can he play inside like White? Remember the great linebacker that the Bucs took in the top 5?
Devin White, the great linebacker, Super Bowl champion. Listen, honestly, I think LSU had an identity crisis on defense last year. They had him playing in coverage as this off-ball linebacker, kind of an overhang position.
Okay, Madman said he loved
struggled,
Perkins.
I think,
Okay.
as a zone coverage linebacker. I don't know if that's his role. What I know he's really good at is instinctual getting downhill. I know that he's great spying the QB. You go back and you watch his arsenal of pass rush moves as a true freshman, it's better than
Oh, it's
Arvell Reese to
awesome.
me.
But if you get a guy like that can be a special teamer, a situational pass rusher, a guy that can come in and spy on Lamar Jackson or one of these great scrambling quarterbacks, man, that's worth its price in gold. But this
Completely
guy
agree.
here, man, he really flashed 2 years ago, man.
He was his first-round pick 2 years ago.
I mean, we were talking about him in his true freshman game against Arkansas like he was the next coming of Lawrence Taylor.
Who's the last guy?
Josh Moten.
Josh Moten.
Southern Miss, cornerback.
Let's hear the size on him. Is he big enough to play outside? Can he go inside?
I don't think so. I think he's an outside zone corner. I think that's what he is. Now, he is way off people's boards. He's not even listed as far as being draftable at this point in time. One thing stood out to me that made me watch the tape, and that is his coverage against Jeremiah Smith 2 years ago in 2024, where he stacks him and gets the pick on Jeremiah Smith. And it's all over.
You've been talking about this pick for 2 years.
It's all over the
You
film.
love Moten. I mean, you got a picture of Moten in your office.
I like small, feisty guys. It's
I
just
do
the way
too,
to
man.
operate. Like, he
Moten
plays
is-
just
boy,
with fire
this is a
intensity
true
for a
sleeper.
guy his size. As far as late round flyers, I want guys like that on my team. It's infectious to me, okay?
Will he tackle?
A lot of these guys are small,
He can tackle.
Enoch.
I do think one of his weaknesses is being bullied by bigger wide receivers that are blockers. I do think that is a concern at the next level. But as far as instincts go and reading and making big time plays, I believe he's got, 10 interceptions in the last 2 years. He's got 22 career pass breakups. I'm taking a chance on a guy like Josh Moten.
He's got a lot of ball production. There's no doubt about it. But I look back on these guys over here on the left. Pregnon, interesting. You think he's the best guard?
I do.
Honitcher, you got him as the best tackle.
I do.
Ted Hurst, I don't think he's a sleeper. He was like 2 months ago, but right now his stock after the combine, when people start looking at his tape and his body of work, I think he's going to go a lot higher because of his true size speed. Bud Clark, Tucker's very interesting. Western Michigan.
Rod Ellis.
Marshall and Moten. Who would you take?
Devin Marshall. I think he's a
Rod
pro.
Ellis said, man,
those
come on,
LSU
some of these guys
man,
won't
you
even
can never
get
go
drafted.
wrong drafting cats out of LSU. Well, let's go back to last year. You had the receiver
Oh,
that
boy.
no one even thought about that went to the Patriots. Tell me about that cat.
Efton Chisholm, man.
Efton Chisholm, you brought him up. Efton Chisholm. We're sitting in here. We even had Madison in here. And you're like, Efton Chisholm. We're all laughing at you.
I mean, he ran a 4.71.
What? He ran a 4.71?
A 4.71. I mean, coming from the Raiders, that's just not going to work.
I don't know, Coach.
Bobby.
Do you like over 300 receptions? Do you over like 10,000 yards? Do you like 7,000 touchdowns in his career at Eastern Washington?
Guess who has a AFC championship ring? Efton Chisholm, man. So you've done a hell of a job bringing names like this to the table. I can't wait to look back on this draft this time next year to see if you were right.
Yes,
because
sir.
if you're wrong, The Athletic will write an article on your ass. I can't believe I didn't want Khalil Mack. Do you?
I can't.
Shit, why would I want that guy?
He's really good.
Let's run his ass out of here.
Draft season, baby.
Okay, now hold on a second. So he said he brought up a guy by the name of Efton Chisholm last year for the Patriots. Now, if I'm not mistaken, let me make sure this is what I'm looking at here. If I'm not mistaken, they just talked about Efton Chisholm like he was right about Efton Chisholm. But if you look at Efton Chisholm's actual stats from last year, I have no clue what the world they're talking about. If this is the same guy, Efton Chisholm, for the New England Patriots, that he said was a sleeper, Efton Chisholm had 3 receptions, 75 yards, and 1 touchdown last year. What in the world? In the postseason, he had 1 reception for 20 yards. What in the world is he talking about this dude, man? What in the world are you talking about this dude? As if he was right on this Efton Chisholm guy. I don't understand where he was right on that. But again, hey, he said them sleepers. Boy, he ain't lying. Because I am totally asleep. I am totally asleep on them last 5, boy. I don't know what he talking about on them last 5, man. I don't know what he talking about. But, man, I am so glad that we are finally at the draft tomorrow. Man, I don't know about y'all, bro. I don't know about y'all. I am so glad that the draft is finally here tomorrow. Man, no more mock drafts. No more hyping up this player, hyping up that player. No more of this stuff. Come tomorrow, we're going to know who the Cowboys or what the Cowboys are going to do at 12 and 20. And again, I'm still not going to be surprised. There are 3 names that I believe that are going to come up tomorrow, because if they don't come up tomorrow, they're not coming up. And I'm actually going to throw a 4th name out there, but this name may be mentioned on day 2. And I got a couple of names that may be mentioned on day 2. But on day 1, I believe you're going to hear Max Crosby, George Pickens, Myles Garrett. Don't know if they're going to be traded or not, but I think those 3 are going to be mentioned on day 1. Somebody's going to try to trade. I think on day 2, I think you're going to hear names like Grenard. I think you're going to hear Thibodeau. And I think you're going to hear Jordan Brooks. I think you'll hear those names on the second day. But day 1, it's all about the Cowboys. Day 1 is all about the Cowboys. The Cowboys are about to carry this draft. Y'all watch what I tell you. They are about to carry this draft. Now, those first, I will say 8 picks. I believe these are going to be exciting simply because these are probably the best players that everyone would consider in the draft. Mendoza, Raiders. Jets, who in the heck knows? Terribly ran franchise. They could actually trade out of the second spot. Cardinals, who knows? Could actually trade out. Tennessee, I do think they're getting Jeremiah Love if the Cardinals don't get him. But as it applies to the Giants, no surprise. I think they're going to get Sonny Styles. We'll see. Cleveland, I think they are going to try to trade back, whether it be the Cowboys or someone else. But I think tomorrow it's going to be pretty. Somebody's going to have to do something up there that's going to have to shake this thing up. The Cowboys will shake it up if they go up to number 6, because we know if they go to number 6, they're probably going to be getting Mansour Delane. I just think they'll get Mansour Delane over Reuben Bain Jr. I think they'll get Mansour Delane over Reuben Bain Jr. Because, again, Madman mentioned the Chiefs lost 2 cornerbacks. I don't think they'll let Delane get past them. So I do believe the Cowboys will try to get up to that number 6 spot. If they trade up, they'll get Delane. But I'll be honest with you, I just hope the Cowboys stay where they are. I just hope they stay where they are. Angie, I think this is no doubt. They might do something after the draft like they did with Pickens. They're going to circle the block. Yeah, I can definitely believe that they will circle the block. They'll circle the block on this thing with George Pickens. But Angie, what the Cowboys have got to be careful. If the Cowboys want to trade George, you better trade him this year. Because you don't want to trade George. You know, everybody's talking about the 2027 draft for whatever reason. They are saying that's where all the talent is. So, and let me rephrase this. If the Cowboys are going to trade George, then you better trade him for 2027 stock. I wouldn't even bother trading him for 2026 pretty much. Because there's not a lot of super talent in this draft. Everybody's loading up for 2027. So if I'm the Cowboys, anybody start talking to me about trading for George, you're giving up 2027 picks. You're giving up a first and a third in 2027. Because you're going to be hard-pressed to get a two first for George. You're going to be hard-pressed because you're not going to get that harder for anybody. But we're going to see. I know this. I'm not going to let the Cowboys surprise me tomorrow. I'm ready now. After hearing this press conference, I'm ready for anything as it applies to the Cowboys. I'm ready for anything as it applies to the Cowboys. Angie, I'm telling you, don't rule out Garrett. I'm telling you, you're going to hear that name. You're going to hear that name. Can we get Garrett so I can do a backflip like Joe Milton? Yeah. I think we're going to hear that name tomorrow. But I definitely think we're going to hear Max Crosby. I definitely think we're going to hear Max Crosby. 72 Chevelle, he said, my guess is Bain, Delane, Rodriguez, Lawrence. I'm thinking if they trade up, it's Mansour Delane. But I'm also not going to be shocked if we hear Keldrick Falk and Jacob Rodriguez. I'm not going to be surprised if we hear those names. Cowboys been out here talking a little bit. We're going to see if it's going to be some smoke and mirrors or not. But I'm telling you, man, we might be absolutely shocked tomorrow after what Steven said today. Man, we might be shocked. We might hear them tomorrow say that David Mulligetta and George Pickens asked for a trade. You never know. They might come out and say that tomorrow. I'm not going to be surprised what I hear. Angie says she's lowered her expectations. Yeah. Angie, I ain't going to say I'm not going to feel some way. Because if they get certain players, I am going to feel a certain type of way. Because if they get some players that can absolutely help them, I'll be excited. But, you know, at this point, Angie, I'll be honest with you. That's why I hadn't done no mock drafts and necessarily defending certain types of players. Because at the end of the day, I don't know. What the heck the Cowboys are going to do. I'm going to be honest with you. Big Ron Bowski said NIL means the future NFL drafts are starting to have less and less talent because players at big schools can make more money staying in school a year longer than they can make at potential rookie deals. Ron Bowski, you hitting it right on the head, bro. I'm sorry. With these NIL deals, if I was one of the top players in the country, I'm sorry. I'm not turning pro till I'm 25 years old. I'm not turning pro till I'm 25, bro. Bottom line, I'm not turning pro till I'm 25. I bet you right now, if Shedeur Sanders would have knew they were going to pull that junk on him, Shedeur Sanders would have stayed one more year in Colorado and had another great season. I do. I believe he would have. What's the incentive? What's the incentive to turn pro early? I mean, really, what's the incentive? You could literally set yourself up for most of your life playing on NIL deals in college. I mean, you could literally make on an NIL deal. You could make anywhere from 15 to what, $25 million? Man, I ain't going pro. I'm not going pro, bro. You keep playing, I'll take, man, how many years eligibility do I have? I don't give a doggone. I'd be the oldest player in college football. I don't give a doggone. I'll light it up. I'll stay lighting it up. I'm telling you, my last year of eligibility, I would have to know for a fact that I'm going to be a top 10 draft pick. Other than that, or I'm going in the first round. Other than that, I ain't coming out. What's going on, Robert Dudley? I'm just telling you. Shoot, King Kong Community, he says, shoot. He said, forget the draft, bro. Me and you both. Shoot. What I need the draft for, man, I'm getting $5 million. Not only am I getting $5 million in NIL money, The endorsement deals. Man, pros would, if I was one of the top players in the country, man, I wouldn't even be thinking about the pros until I'm about 24. I'm just being honest. I'd be 24, 25, maybe even 26 before I even step foot in the pros. Shoot, I'd be the oldest college player out there with all the money they paying. Larry Stroud, he said, I say they already have a trade lined up. They just don't have the guts to be honest with us fans. Larry, I think Jerry's already told us. They're exploring everything. I agree with you. They're exploring everything. That's why I'm not even, man, I'm telling y'all, I'm not going to be surprised if George Pickens gets traded. I'm not going to be surprised. I'm not going to be surprised if he stays. I'm not going to be surprised if he gets traded. I'm just not. I'm not. King Kong said, I'll go back to school. Shoot. Boy, you and me both. Shoot. Man, this NIL money is ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous. Man, I'm talking about even on the back end. I know a guy from church, and his son plays for, I think, Texas A&M. I mean, even his NIL money, he's not even one of the top players in the country, man. His NIL money is 6 figures. What? Shoot. Why come to the pros and get 6 figures? Heck no. Kippy said, trade that third pick. Man, that's where I am too. Trade that third pick for Jordan Brooks. You will not find a linebacker in this draft better than Jordan Brooks. This is why I really do believe that if the Miami Dolphins wind up trading Jordan Brooks, they may actually get a second-round pick for Jordan Brooks. I mean, and if I was at the back of the draft, I'd probably give up a first-round pick for Jordan Brooks if I was back there like 25 and back. I mean, why not? There's not a linebacker in actuality in this draft better than Jordan Brooks. Oh, yeah, I'd do it. And if you could do it for a third, do it. Angie, you crazy. Angie said she heard it. She said she heard the Cowboys had drafted Magic Johnson. Boy. Frank Lawrence, appreciate that super chat. What time you coming? Super chat tomorrow. Hey man, tomorrow, whatever time the draft starts, I will be on an hour early at minimum. I've already told everybody I know. Don't y'all are not gonna be able to reach me on any time during the draft. I'm going from an hour before. I don't even know what time I'm getting off tomorrow. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I don't even know what time I'm getting off. Tomorrow. So it's gonna be. I will be on an hour before the draft. So I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna bring all my food up here and everything. I'm gonna have my food, everything ready to go, because I know I'm not leaving this room. I am not leaving this room tomorrow. It is straight up draft all day. So if the draft starts at 7, Frank Lawrence, I'll be seeing everybody at 7 o'clock. I know it's gonna be a bunch of draft shows on, so y'all make sure y'all at least drop in. Tomorrow, so it's going to be good, man. All right, man, I came on early today because y'all know I got to go teach Bible now. I got to go teach Bible, man. Teach people to have faith. Have that mustard seed faith. Have faith in God. And when you have faith in God, you can do all things through Christ Jesus. You can endure all things. So, man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me today. We are going to be back tomorrow. Y'all get y'all rest in. I ain't going to tell y'all to call in on Friday. All I'm telling y'all is, man, we going to be 3 days. We going to be wall-to-wall draft all day long. Yeah. All day long. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And even when I get out of church from preaching on Sunday, we going to preach Cowboys on Sunday, talking about what they did on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Amen, walls, as I say when I preach. Man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Best chat on YouTube. It's been a blast today. Until tomorrow, if the Lord is willing. DC4L, God bless. Let's talk Cowboys and we talk facts. Peace.
Yo, G, bless him, bless him, bless him.